Impeccable. Always poignant, always remembered. Commentary then here on BBC Radio 5 Live, Manchester United against Crystal Palace. The start of the Six Nations, of course, as well. England, Scotland commentary to come as soon as this game is over. Wales, Ireland is the opening game. Gareth Lewis.
3 tries they've scored, not on top, they're dominant in all honesty. Wales with loads to do in the second half.
Commentary that is on Sports Extra. So Manchester United have made 2 changes as we're underway. Crystal Palace in the all-white, playing from right to left, attacking the Stretford end. Manchester United red shirts, white shorts, therefore from left to right. 2 changes from the side that played Nottingham Forest in the League Cup in midweek. David De Gea is back in goal. Rashford returns, so De Gea, Wan-Bissaka against his former club, Varane, Martinez and Shaw, Casemiro and Fred, and then Anthony, Fernandes, Rashford and Wout Weghorst, a Premier League home debut for the Dutchman. As for Crystal Palace, they've made 3 changes from their last time that they were in action, the 21st of January. Zaha is out with a hamstring injury, he could be missing for up to 6 weeks. So Elise comes in for him. There's a start for Will Hughes, and then Klein replaces Ward at right back. So Whiter is in goal, Klein, Guehi, Richards and Mitchell, Schlupp, Decore, Hughes, Ayew, Elise and Hudson-Edouard. And already Crystal Palace have been awarded a free kick, which Elise is going to stand over. Of course, 17 days ago it was his free kick that stopped that winning run of Manchester United's when they salvaged a draw at Selhurst Park. But it's about 10 yards in from the left touch line, so should be a left-footed free kick. Mitchell has also come across now as well. Manchester United have got it back. It is Elise, kills it in, it's an arcing one, and it's Casemiro who turns it behind Chris Waddle.
Yeah, Elise, we know he's got a very good left foot, and it's a good delivery, hits the space. A bit flat, I've got to say, a lot of pace on it, but a bit flat, and but it's a good start by Palace. An early free kick from 25 yards out, and now a corner.
Well, their supporters are in the quadrant away to our right-hand side, but our eyes are currently away towards where the tunnel is, because in front of that, this is where the corner's going to come from. Elise doesn't beat the first man. Headed out easily by Bruno Fernandes. And on defensive duties is Anthony, back with Fernandes, but the referee, who's Andre Mariner today, has given a free kick. The results in the early games: Everton out of the relegation zone, a winning start for Sean Dyche, beating Arsenal by 1-0. Burnley flying, absolute flying they are. 9 successive wins now in the Championship. They'll be making an immediate return to the top flight, certainly. 7 points clear now at the top after Sheffield United in the South Yorkshire derby drew 0-0 at Rotherham. Burnley winning 3-0 at Carrow Road. And Jody Morris, his first game in charge of Swindon Town, ended in defeat in League 2 as Newport County beat Swindon by 2-1. This is now with Shaw. Shaw is forward, taken over now in the midfield. Sabitzer, by the way, by Fred. Sabitzer is on the bench. Christian Eriksen is going to be out for at least 3 months, they think, end of April, maybe the start of May, with an ankle injury. So Marcel Sabitzer, brought in on deadline day on loan from Bayern Munich, he is on the bench for the home side, who are looking to extend their winning run here at Old Trafford. Anthony collects the ball on this near side, the right, shown on the inside by Mitchell, obliges, now passes the ball square. Fernandes goes back, Martinez passes it now towards Shaw. Shaw will leave it, Rashford on that left-hand side, the return ball towards Shaw, looking for the cutback, blocked by Crystal Palace, doesn't go out of play. Rashford with the cross, appeals for handball there against Will Hughes. Andre Mariner says no, United protest.
Well, it's a hard one, Ian, if he's going to give it. I mean, I'm sure VAR will be looking at it, and but I don't think there was any intent. They're saying he had his hand up, which was not a normal position. We'll see what happens here. The VAR is getting consulted.
We welcome listeners to the BBC World Service wherever you are in the world. Good afternoon, always a pleasure to have your company. as there has... Ooh, this could be given, by the way.
Yeah.
This could be given.
Yeah,
meanwhile, a goal at Molineux, John Bennett.
And it's gone to Wolves. They've made a fantastic start. Hee Chang Wang with the goal. Tight angle, just squeezed it in. In fact, it took a massive deflection off a Liverpool defender, Joel Matip, into the back of the net. Brilliant start by Wolves. Wolves 1, Liverpool 0.
Rashford's attempted cross. Will Hughes has got his hands above his head. The only thing where it might not be given is the proximity of Will Hughes. But this could be given because it's...
I think it'll be given.
Yeah.
His arm was well above his head, and he didn't keep his arms down by his side. He put his right arm up, and he's going to have a look. And 9 times out of 10, they give it. I don't know why can't they just make the decision and say yes or no? What is the point of putting the pressure on the referee? This VAR was supposed to take the pressure off him. Now he's going to have to make the decision, which will not be happy with the Palace fans.
I think I know from and since Howard Webber's taken charge, they want to try and create this really high bar because they believe that the consistency will be greater. And when they have the referees' camps, sometimes you get subjective decisions, you get split. So I think Tony Harrington, VAR, has said to Andre Mariner, go and have a look at yourself.
No, but he's making a decision then, and the crowd, whether you're a Palace fan or a Man United fan, obviously you're a Man United fan, you're pleased he's give it. But a Palace fan now, look, listen, boos, they should make a decision so they don't know who's telling. He's only going by instructions. It's wrong what they do.
Well, the penalty has been awarded. Will Hughes penalised, hands above his head, and Bruno Fernandes, who has scored 21 out of his 24 penalties for Manchester United. However, he has missed his last 2. He's up against the Palace keeper Whiter, and Bruno Fernandes with a straight run-up. Bruno Fernandes runs forward now, stuttering run-up, and scores. Just rolled it right-footed into the left-hand side. Whiter dived the wrong way. He may have missed his last 2. He's converted that one. Bruno Fernandes doesn't miss from the spot, and Manchester United already lead Crystal Palace by a 0-0. Bristol Rovers 0, MK Dons 1, Crewe 0, Grimsby 1. We've told you that Wolves are leading Liverpool by a 0-0, and Sheffield Wednesday in that top of the table clash has been a goal. Shojo Saka.
Yeah, it's Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0. Lightning start for Wednesday. Their first attack, a lovely cross from the right, and it was a crisp first-time finish by Callum Patterson. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0.
Preston North End 0, Bristol City 1, and another goal in the Championship, and it's at Kenilworth Road. Sahel Sai.
Luton 1, Stoke 0. Good start from the home side. A 25-yard effort from Pelly, Ruddock and Penzu. The goalkeeper couldn't stop it. Luton 1, Stoke 0.
By the way, that goal for Bruno Fernandes takes him to 99 league goals in his career.
Well, he'll be probably getting 100 today, the way they've started. I mean, what a pen. I mean, the goalkeeper dived the wrong way. He actually could have probably got up and saved it the other way, but it just trickled over the line. But Bruno Fernandes full of confidence, as is this Man United say. What a start for them.
Big day of racing at Leopardstown. It's the Irish Gold Cup. John Hunt.
2/3 of the way through the 3-mile distance. All eyes on Galopin Deschamps, the red-hot favourite. He's just made a small mistake at fence number 9, but he's fine. He's in a close 5th place. Ken Boy and Statler, the leaders.
Thank you, John. We'll be back with you for the closing stages of that Irish Gold Cup at Leopardstown. But Whiter has just got caught there by Weghorst.
He was unlucky. Listen, there's nothing in it. He's trying to block it. It's a follow-through from Whiter. It catches Weghorst, and yeah, he's gone down. He's fine.
Well, Manchester United, when they scored the opening goal when it happened 10 times this season, they always went on to win. However, in the last 2 occasions when they've scored first, they've actually lost the game, but they are leading here with an early goal converted from the spot by Bruno Fernandes. We know that Wolves are 1-0 up against Liverpool. There's been Manchester United with Weghorst. Now with Anthony, United go back. Casemiro forward towards Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka sends over the cross, and it's headed away on that far side by Richards. Feeling for another penalty there. There's been a goal now at Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Aston Villa. Gloriously made by Buendia. 25 yards out. His curling shot hit the underside of the bar. Watkins reacted quicker than anybody to turn it in athletically with his right foot. It's Villa 1, Leicester 0.
Exeter 0, Charlton 1 is the latest score in League One. We've already heard from him, but this is John Hunt, and this is the Irish Gold Cup.
and they've just cleared away from the fourth last fence in. Kemboy still leading with Statler. Two others join in for the lead though, the Big Dog, and on the outside Fury Road, and the hot favourite Galopin Des Champs. One small mistake so far, he's a close fifth. His stamina's really going to be tested this afternoon as they come towards the third last fence. They're all over safely any second now. Twice placed in the Grand National at Aintree, he's on their tails as well, and as they begin the turn for home in earnest, Franco Deport's the back marker, so they head to the second last fence. They're at it now. Galopin Des Champs into fourth place. The Big Dog comes down there, hit it hard, crumples on landing, so that leaves him out of the race as Fury Road leads the way. Galopin Des Champs on the outside of Statler, former winner Kemboy on the retreat in fourth place. Then any second now, and Franco Deport, they come then down on this long run to the last. This is the Irish Gold Cup at Leopardstown Racecourse in Dublin. Fury Road, if he can cling on, it would be a massive shock. Galopin Des Champs tries to join him at the last, and Galopin Des Champs jumped much better than Fury Road at the last. Galopin Des Champs now hits the front. Fury Road trying to battle back on the far side. Statler's back in third place, and Galopin Des Champs now coming clear. Crowd around me rise to their feet, because ultimately he's pretty impressive. Galopin Des Champs galloped 8 lengths clear of, in second, Statler. Fury Road was third. That's the Irish Gold Cup in the bag. Next up, he'll try and win the Cheltenham Gold Cup in 5 weeks' time, a race in for which he's already a hot favourite.
Yes, it certainly whets the appetite for the Cheltenham Festival next month, which will be brought to you by John Hunt on BBC Radio 5 Live. Hearts 0, Dundee United 1 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Livingston lead Kilmarnock by a goal to 0. Salford a 1-0 up at home to Rochdale, and there's been another goal at Molineux. John Bennett.
This is remarkable. Wolves 2, Liverpool 0, and it's Craig Dawson on his debut. A cross by Cunha. Liverpool couldn't get it clear, and Dawson smashed it into the back of the net. Wolves 2, Liverpool 0.
Straight to Villa Park, another goal, Pat Murphy.
Equaliser for Leicester City, and there's a very avoidable goal as far as Aston Villa concerned. Ramsey given a short pass by the keeper Martinez in his own box, couldn't get it cleared. The ball ping-ponged around and left-footed. Maddison said, "Thank you very much, Aston Villa." Villa 1, Leicester 1.
Here's Anthony, right-hand side for Manchester United, level with the penalty area, back with Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United lead by a goal to 0. That Bruno Fernandes early penalty, and since then they appear to have just been camped in the Crystal Palace half.
I'm looking at Pat Vieira stood on the touchline there. He looks a bit arms folded, and he must be thinking, what is going on?
Anthony slips the ball into the path of Wan-Bissaka, tries to cut it back on the right-hand side.
There's no energy.
Corner.
I know they've parked the bus and they're 1-0 down, but there's no energy, and it's just a matter of how many Man United is going to score here. And Palace have got up the tempo. I mean, I know Man United are banging form, full of confidence, but Palace have got to offer more than what we're seeing.
Livingston are now 2-0 up at home to Kilmarnock. Corner kick for Manchester United. And the header, great save by Whiter from Weghorst, looping header. Manchester United still threatening. Shot comes in, fired in low by Rashford, cleared away by Crystal Palace. There was no real power from the header. The referees played a good advantage there. Manchester United with Fernandes. Out it goes to Rashford. Casemiro gets round the back, sends over the cross, and then it's headed away by Schlupp. And it's all backs to the wall for Crystal Palace. There is no let-up from Manchester United. Anthony chips the ball into the penalty area, and Whiter catches the ball.
I've got to say, it's basics, hard work. It's hard work, and that's what Palace are not giving. Well, they might be good technically, they might have players who can hurt you in certain areas. The work rate, the tempo they're playing out at the minute, I'm sorry, but me and you could probably get, well, I could anyway. I think me and you could probably be playing out there at the minute.
Flying save keeps out the Dutchman. Let's get an update from Brentford against Southampton. John Southall.
Brentford 0, Southampton 0, but great chance for Brentford. Tony through to Visa, 7 yards out, rounded the keeper, did the hard bit, goal at his mercy, hit the crossbar, absolute sitter. Brentford 0, Southampton 0.
Tell you what is remarkable. This is the first time this season that Manchester United have played on a Saturday 3 o'clock.
Incredible.
14 minutes in, they lead by a goal to 0, whether home or away. First time at 3 o'clock. Used to be the staple diet, of course, but now with TV, supporters have to wait for the TV schedules to eventually dictate when they're playing. But the QPR are leading at Huddersfield by 1-0 in the Championship, and you're up to date. We'll go to Brighton. Alistair Bruce ball.
Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0. Incredible triple miss here from Dennis Undav starting for Brighton today. Poor clearance from Neto gave the ball to him. First shot blocked by Mepham. Second one somehow saved by Neto. Goal at his mercy. He hit the post. Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0.
I was speaking to some United fans earlier who've come over from Ireland, and because now you don't know when the fixtures come out, and you wait, what is it, a month beforehand or however long it is, they've actually booked an entire weekend in Manchester from Ireland, just because they were worried about the fixture when they wanted the flights and the hotels all to be taken into consideration. It could have been changed. As it is, it's the box standard 3 o'clock for the first time. Swansea 0, Birmingham 1 is the latest score in the Championship. So 1-1 at Villa Park, 2-0 at Molineux. Wolves are ahead, and it's 1-0 to Manchester United here at Old Trafford. Anthony inside, Bruno Fernandes passing the ball very, very quickly, aren't they?
They're full of confidence, Man United. You know, they're having a great season. You can see the confidence of all the players. I mean, Rashford's had the headlines recently, but all the players look so. Everyone wants the ball.
33 matches. This is their 34th. It's the most of any team in any of the major European leagues. And bearing in mind the Forest game on Wednesday, it was the first game of 9 in a 29-day schedule that will include, of course, the League Cup final and 2 games against Barcelona in the Europa League. Port Vale 0, Wycombe 1 is the latest score in League One. You're up to date. 5 live in the World Service from the BBC. We're in the 16th minute. Here is Elise for the White of Crystal Palace. Back to Guehi. Pops the ball forward. Mitchell's onto this, the left back. Anthony racing back to try and stop the cross. Gets the foot into the challenge. Then there's a slip by Mitchell. And all of a sudden Manchester United are able to bring the ball away. Anthony inside to Bruno Fernandes. Gets the return. He's over the halfway line. Driving into that space vacated by Mitchell, who's just jogging back now. Anthony goes inside. Weghorst tried the little layoff inside to Fernandes. And Crystal Palace will play the ball out of defence. Elise up towards Edouard now on the halfway line. Schlupp's going on ahead of him. Sliding in with Martinez. And it'll go out of play for a throw.
I don't know why the Palace players have run round the referee. That was a good tackle. Yes, it may come from the side, but he played the ball. Yes, it may. Modern day to football, but that's as far as a free kick, but that's as far as it should go.
I thought it was a good challenge.
It was a great challenge. We're seeing the replay. He's played the ball, and the Palace players are asking the referee to make what decision? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Let's go back to Molineux. John Bennett.
Wolves 2, Liverpool 0. Finally a response by Liverpool. They've been dreadful so far in this game, but Darwin Núñez did force a save from Jose Sarr, just managed to palm the ball away. It's Wolves 2, Liverpool 0.
Wales-Ireland, by the way, in the Six Nations is on Sports Extra. England-Scotland, the Calcutta Cup will be here on BBC Radio 5 Live later on. Our 5:30 commentary, Newcastle against West Ham. The first half of that will be on Sports Extra. As the ball is played down the line, Elise into the penalty area. Schlupp tried the early cross. That was blocked by Bruno Fernandes. The work rate off the ball by the United players is noticeable.
That's Fernandes, isn't it? I mean, the creative player in midfield. But that was a good free kick as well. How many people just put it in that area, even though they've got such a high line, Man United? Most people still cross it. That was a good free kick down the side, catches everybody on side.
Palace then get a throw as a result of that on this near side, the left, and they get a few more yards down that touchline, and it's another throw. Exeter 0, Charlton 2 is the latest score in League One as Crystal Palace look for an equaliser. Bruno Fernandes with his 7th goal of the season as Elise, the number 7 for Palace, down by the corner flag. Challenge comes in from Casemiro, and it goes out of play for another Palace throw. Not a great deal of movement at this stage for Mitchell. He finds Elise, comes back towards Mitchell in a very confined area. Elise has to leap out of the way to enable that cross to come in. They try and press the ball and win it back as Manchester United hold on to it. And Bruno Fernandes releases short. Left-hand side over the halfway line, plays it forward. Rashford looks offside. Flag will stay down for the time being. Rashford enters the penalty area, and then now is the late flag. And then Klein manages to get a foot into the challenge, and it will be a free kick to Crystal Palace.
Well, they've handled Rashford very well so far, Crystal Palace, coming up 19 minutes. Not really had a sniff. He was definitely offside. But why don't we just put the flag up?
Yeah, it was offside, and they were waiting, but Eventually, the flag was raised. I was just looking. I'm sure I saw Gareth Southgate in the director's box. He was, yeah. So he's here. Ooh, that was a late challenge by Tyrick Mitchell, catching Casemiro. Casemiro rubbing his knee and looks to be in a lot of pain from the challenge from the Crystal Palace left back. We'll go to Brighton. Stoppage in play here. Alistair Bruce ball.
18 and a half minutes played. Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0. Enjoying the competition for the most glaring miss of the afternoon. Dennis Undav was a front runner with his triple miss. Jefferson Lerma at the other end. Lovely cutback from Jayden Anthony, and he shot wide of the target. At the very least, he should have had the shot on target. Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0.
He wasn't booked though, was he, Mitchell?
I don't think it was a booking anyway. I think the players, mate, it's like, it's like, how can I get somebody booked or sent off? And that's the thought of the head, you know, which, it's bad really, you know. You want to see the game played. If it's a bad tackle, by all means, let the referee deal with it.
Stockport lead Tranmere Rovers in League 2 by a 1-0. Dave Challinor's side are ahead. Manchester United still leading here. Everton 1, Arsenal 0 was the result at Goodison Park. As now it's with Martinez, the Argentinian international, plays the ball along the ground out to his left for Shaw. Shaw then gets the return from Rashford, linking up and then driving forward was Shaw, and he'll win a corner as his forward ball took a deflection. It's a positive run by Shaw.
Yeah, excellent run from Shaw from left back. Ayew just basically played a 1-2 round him and couldn't catch him. Man United looked very fresh, very bright. Palace, you can see the team was lacking in confidence.
Crystal Palace, who could easily get sucked into a relegation battle if they're not careful. They're 1 win in 7 in the Premier League. They've collected just 5 points out of a possible 21. Corner kick to Manchester United. It's an in-swinger, headed out by Richards. Varane lays it back from inside the penalty area to Fred. Fred goes out towards the United left. Bruno Fernandes will clip this flat ball in. Rashford with his back to goal. There was a little nibble, but nothing more than that by Richards. Rashford goes to ground, and it was the supporters who appealed more than the United players, as the ball was almost intercepted by Weghorst, and now it was intercepted by Fernandes. Rashford to Weghorst, and an outstretched leg by Guehi managed to stop the Dutchman from benefiting from that and entering the penalty area. Let's get an update from Wales Ireland in the Six Nations. Gareth Lewis.
Just the start Wales wanted in the second half. Early try from Liam Williams after Wales worked the numbers. Williams crashing over underneath the post, converted by Biggar. Ireland though lead by 27 points to 10.
Commentary on Sports Extra. England-Scotland live on 5 Live as soon as we're done and dusted here at Old Trafford. Chris Waddle.
Yeah, I'm just getting a replay of the claim for Rashford. No, he went down, no touch. But it's up to Palace here. They've got to up the tempo, they've got to ask questions, they've got to be more physical, got to show more energy. At the minute, it's so comfortable for Manchester United.
Although Manchester United will, I'm sure, need no reminding of what happened 17 days ago when they met at Selhurst Park on that Wednesday night, when they were leading by a 1-0 and then Elise popped up. So they will certainly want to get further goals here at Old Trafford after Arsenal, the league leaders, lost at Goodison Park. So their lead remains 5 points ahead of Manchester City. As Manchester United, 4th in the table, 11 points behind Arsenal at the start of play, but looking to extend this winning run to 13 games at home in all competitions. The last time they managed 13 consecutive matches, Sir Alex Ferguson was in charge 12 years ago. Brentford against Southampton. John Southall.
0 Southampton, 0 chance there for Bryan Mbeumo, left of the area into the ground, wide of the right hand post for Southampton. Ward-Prowse got himself in a great position on the left, should have hit it, played it across, chance gone. Brentford 0, Southampton 0.
Varane retired from the international scene during the week to Martinez. Shaw now forward, left hand side, midway through the Crystal Palace half. Then it goes back to Martinez on the halfway line, and Varane takes over in the centre circle. Lincoln City without a win in 8 in League One are leading at Accrington by a 0-0. Accrington 0, Lincoln 1, and Swansea City have equalised at home to Birmingham City in the Championship at the Liberty Stadium. Here is Varane to Fred, right hand side, midway through the Crystal Palace half. But they look very comfortable at the moment, the home side.
No pressure at all, Ian. Listen, the centre halves, the back four, just keep the ball as much as they want. They're picking all the second balls up as they just have there.
Yeah, Rashford tried to thread it through to Weghorst, cleared away by Chris Richards at the heart of the Palace defence, the American international who they signed from Bayern Munich. But at the minute they just can't seem to hold on to the ball or indeed get out of their own half, although in saying that they do come forward now with Edouard, who goes down under a challenge from Casemiro, and they'll now have a free kick.
They just look low in confidence and belief, don't they? I mean, as you said, they've got to start putting passes together. They've got some very talented footballers, Crystal Palace, but they just can't put 2 or 3 passes together at the minute.
Free kick, which they're in no real hurry to take. We'll nip back to Molineux then, and John Bennett.
And Wolves should be 3-0 up. As it is, it's 2-0, but Matheus Nunes capitalised on a mistake by Joel Matip, through on goal. Alisson made the save. Liverpool have been awful. Wolves 2, Liverpool 0.
Free kick then for Palace, which still hasn't been taken. An extraordinary high line from Manchester United. That line of red shirts, it must be almost 30 yards out from goal. The ball is then clipped into the penalty area. It was Guehi who made the run. It's
the right ball, Ian. You know, he's got a deep run, he's bending his run, so he's not offside. Just the way the pass there from Elise was just a little bit too hard. De Gea was alive. Here's Rashford having the chase.
Sheffield Wednesday in that top of the table clash in League One are leading Plymouth by 1-0. Ipswich, who are third, are actually trailing at the Abbey Stadium. They've fallen behind. Cambridge United 1, Ipswich Town 0 is a latest score. This is 5 Live in the World Service. We're in the 26th minute, and it's a throw to Crystal Palace, and again in no urgency whatsoever. A great deal of movement. It goes down the line, thrown on that right-hand side by Klein. Little touch by Hughes, finds Elise, hits it long, and that's going to go all the way through to David De Gea. We'll go back to the Amex. Alistair Bruce Ball.
25 minutes played. Bournemouth in trouble at the moment in the Premier League, but giving this a good go. Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0. Bournemouth, the visitors, have had a couple of penalty appeals recently, both looked at by the VAR. Tariq Lamptey's challenge on Jadon Anthony, and then Estupinian barging into Ouattara. Jared Gillett had a good long look at that one and again decided not enough to give the penalty and overturn the decision on the field. Still Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0.
Varane on the halfway line finds Anthony. Wan-Bissaka comes on the inside of Mitchell. He's done well, Wan-Bissaka, and then couldn't get the bend on the cross from the right-hand side, and it went in a diagonal path straight towards the Palace keeper.
He's doing well though, Wan-Bissaka, hasn't he? Since he got back into the side, everybody thought that was, when Ten Hag came in, that would be the end of his sort of Man United career, but he's forced his way, grabbed the shirt, and he's playing very well.
Fernandes for Rashford. Rashford was sharp, and Rashford's shot's turned behind for a corner kick. The way he moved on to that ball into the inside right channel and took it early right-footed, and Whiter standing up turned it behind.
Maybe he could have hit it harder and low. I think he down on the goalie's feet, he might have scored. It was a good height for the keeper. Say great run. Richards kind of get near him. Great change of pace. He's just wrapped his right foot round it. It's a good height for the keeper. He's blocked off that near post and pushed it away for another corner to Man United,
which is taken in front of the away support by Shaw. It's an in-swinger, and it's headed out by Edouard, picked up by Anthony just outside the area. Anthony goes for a curler, and in the end it's caught by Vicente White, just moving away to his left to make the save.
Yeah, comfortable save. Was no power on the right foot. Obviously we know Anthony prefers the left. Him and Rashford have actually switched wings over the last 5 minutes. Rashford's come over at this right hand side.
Yes, Anthony behind Weghorst, he's on the left. Fernandes central. Rashford now on this near side, the right, as United play from left to right, leading by 1-0 as we approach the half hour. Villa 1, Leicester 1. Goalless between Brentford, Southampton, Brighton, Bournemouth. Wolves lead Liverpool by 2-0, and Manchester United 1-0 up here. And Patrick Vieira just cuts a rather frustrated figure on the touchline down below.
I don't blame him, man. I mean, to a brilliant footballer, Patrick Vieira, but his side at the minute over the last few weeks just looked so low in confidence, don't have that belief. Yeah, they're competing, but I've seen them play, and they need to be a lot higher tempo, and they need to really have a go at this Man United if they want to get anything out of this game.
Into the Championship we go, and there's a goal at Reading. Katie Smith.
Yeah, and it's gone to the visitors. Reading 0, Watford 1, and it's come from the new boy, Enrique Araujo, on his full debut on loan from Benfica, wide out on the right, and a really composed finish. Reading 0, Watford 1.
Bradford City have taken the lead at home to Mansfield at Valley Parade. Bradford lead by 1-0 in League Two. Cross curled in from Mitchell on this near side, the left, and it goes straight towards David De Gea, who incidentally is on 177 clean sheets, so he's actually one short of Peter Schmeichel's club record. So David De Gea, I'm sure, will look to try and add to his impressive tally here today against a Palace side that aren't really posing much of a threat. We're in the 30th minute, United 1-0.
What is the appearances though?
This is 516.
And what was Peter Schmeichel?
I'll have to come back to you there.
Oh, Daniel, cannot believe that.
I wasn't expecting you to throw the curveball in.
Oh, I cannot believe that. He sucked me right in there.
Yeah. Can I phone a friend? I can't multitask to that, so I'll come back to you at half time. Oh, hold on, Gary's on the case, producer Gary. So United lead 1-0 just past half 3 this Saturday afternoon, and Chris Waddle with us here at Old Trafford as Varane tries to switch play out towards the left for Anthony. Cushion header forward by Klein. Rashford with a dipping volley. Goal at Middlesbrough, Chris Coles.
A goal for the team, banging form. Middlesbrough have it, and when Middlesbrough score, invariably Chuba Akpom scores it. Number 16 of the season for him, beautifully curling it into the top corner. Middlesbrough 1, Blackpool 0.
Millwall are leading Sunderland by 1-0. They're unbeaten in 8 at home in the Championship. Victoria Polly.
Well, Millwall thought they had the lead in the 28th minute through George Honeyman, but after some discussion with his assistant, the referee has ruled the goal out for offside. The Millwall fans packed into the den here, not happy with that decision. The players were already off celebrating, still goalless.
Well, thank you for that. Swansea 2, Birmingham 1, Exeter 1, Charlton 2, and a goal at Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
Another one for Aston Villa, and Watkins again involved. Sharp turn, left foot. Took a big deflection though from Harry Souttar, making his debut for Leicester. I reckon that's an own goal. Villa 2, Leicester 1.
Dundee United are leading Hearts by 1-0, but Ryan Edwards has been sent off for Dundee United at Tynecastle in the Scottish Premiership. 13 minutes to go to half-time. Out of defence was Gurhey, and then it was with Anthony, who's actually back inside his own half. They can't retain the ball.
No, Palace. I know confidence is a massive thing in football, Ian, but this is a team where the majority of it are so low in belief and confidence.
Shaw running forward on the United left, crosses aimed towards Weghorst, and then the ball is headed back by Elise, headed away by Hughes inside the D of his own penalty area, and Palace again lose the ball. Shaw picks it up, playing with a real zip though, Manchester United, and Rashford goes on the outside of Klein, and then Rashford checks back, waits, threads it through. He's just nutmegged Nathaniel Klein there, and then Casemiro will win a corner kick, and that just typifies the confidence levels that United are playing with.
Well, you're not playing a more confident footballer in the Premier League than Marcus Rashford at the minute. Everything is going his way. He's scoring goals, making goals, looking the part. 10
goals in 12 since the World Cup. Crewe 0, Grimsby Town 2. The latest score in League 2. 5 Live, World Service, BBC Sounds as well. The corner kick rolled out to Fred, edge of the area, fired it in. It's going to come out to Anthony onto his left foot. That was blocked by his own player, Varane, and cleared away by the Palace defence. Fred will run it forward though, back for Manchester United, being tracked by Elise. Turns away on this near side, the right to Casemiro. The two continue to exchange the passes, and then it's back with Casemiro on the right, shoved from behind by Mitchell. Andre Mariner says no foul. Palace break. Edouard over the halfway line, running forward. Only has Elise up with him at the time being. Now other white shirts are going forward. Will Hughes with that shock of blonde hair through the midfield. Elise though almost caught in possession. Challenge came in. That loose ball was picked back up, and now it's with Schlupp over the halfway line. Forward ball. Elise plays in Mitchell, the left back. Wan-Bissaka taken out of the equation. Mitchell's low cross. Here is Elise. Challenge came in, held him up. Elise with his back to goal. To Mitchell, who stands over the cross, and it is caught by David De Gea at the far post, and Manchester United still lead by 1-0 back to Hillsborough. Shojo Saka.
It's still Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0, but a big worry for Plymouth's promotion push. Goalkeeper Michael Cooper, young goalkeeper, very highly rated. He's had to come off injured, looks like a knee injury. He has been brilliant for them all season, but it's still Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0.
Gary says it was 398 for Peter Schmeichel.
Well, there you are then. So there's only one winner.
Yeah. Very impressive, that, isn't it? 178 clean sheets at that time. Mind you, the defence that he was playing behind wasn't too bad either, was it?
Yeah, I can see that, but...
Yeah. I trust Gary's figures rather than my own. Back with Klein for Palace. Forward, headed then by Shaw. Bruno Fernandes, far side the left. 10 minutes to go to half-time. And now with Casemiro. At a walking pace, Manchester United. Palace have got everybody back behind the ball. Bruno Fernandes dictating. Scoops it forward, scoops it long. Shaw collects left-hand side just in from the touchline. Looks for the run of Rashford into the left-hand side of the penalty area. Jordan Ayew's clearance has gone way too long. And there is Varane. I mean, both the two central defenders, the fullbacks are able to get forward at every opportunity.
Man United can do what they want, basically, and let's be honest, Palace have shown little... The miles off the pace. They are suffering. The results are not good. You can see they're so low in confidence, the players. I mean, a lot of them are, yes, they're given what they have, but they're 2-3 yards off the pace.
Here is Shaw. Back it goes with the England international. Bruno Fernandes takes over. His early penalty, giving United the lead. Weghorst makes the run in behind, left-hand side. Weghorst towards the byline, rolls it in, and looked towards Fred, who stabbed it goalwards. And it went very, very close, but wide for a goal kick. Might have actually just caught the outside of the post, actually.
Yeah, I think it did, Ian. And it was a good Weghorst, who's very... I can see why he signed him. I've got to be admitted, he's not the most talented technically player I've ever seen. But what he does is, he sets the tempo. He closes people down. That's a great spot. Fred, yeah, just outside the post. Difficult angle. I think the goalkeeper would have covered that near post. Weghorst, you can see why he's brought him in. Look, his energy levels. He brings players up the field, and that's what they were lacking, Man United.
Yeah. Now Weghorst yet to score in the Premier League. Mind you, he's only played 5 times, I guess. Give the guy a break, but no goal at Old Trafford. His only goal came at Nottingham Forest in the first leg of that League Cup semi-final. This is his home debut in the top flight. Let's get an update from Ibrox, shall we? Rangers against Ross County. Ready for side?
They're still scoreless here. We saw Rangers hit the crossbar earlier with a clever shot from Tillman, and just skipping the top of the bar. But since then, nothing as close as that, and Rangers are being frustrated by Ross County's pressing game and deep defence. Goalless here at Ibrox.
Crystal Palace have a throw. Mitchell delivered a low ball in, and it was Shaw on the cover who came across to clear the ball out of play. This is now Elise, about 6-7 yards in from the left touchline. Back it goes with Elise. Manchester United at this stage have got everybody back behind the ball. Guehi in the centre of defence for Crystal Palace, outside the centre circle of his own half, but being forced back now with that pass from Richards, and then Richards is going to go all the way back to his goalkeeper Vicente White, and then his cross towards Mitchell, takes it quite high on the chest midway through his own half, actually stands on the ball, causes him to have a little bit of a wobble, but manages to get the ball inside. Martinez clears it away, overruns it, and then Hughes has overhit it. Elise will give chase. Wan-Bissaka, a Croydon lad, playing against his former club, just shy of 50 appearances before he left Selhurst Park. What was it, in 2019? And he won that particular duel, and it goes out for a throw. But there hasn't been too many concerns for Manchester United.
No, I think if they cause any problems, Man United, apart from a couple of free kicks where they've been quite bright on them, I've got to say Palace beating the high line. But apart from that general play, there's only one team out playing.
Well, Manchester United have dropped points, having led in their last 2 Premier League games. Crystal Palace and Arsenal, they hadn't done so in their previous 32. Last time they actually dropped points in 3 successive matches in the top flight. You have to go back all the way to 1998, and on the evidence of what we've seen so far in these 39 minutes or so, they don't look like dropping the points here today, leading by a 1-0. Elise, though, will come forward for Crystal Palace. Left-hand side, cross block by Wan-Bissaka, loops up and behind for a corner kick.
He's been a bright spark, I've got to say, Elise. I think he's got that free roll type thing, playing behind Edouard just off the striker today. But he's had license to go where he basically wants, and when he gets the ball, you can see he can spot a pass, and you know, he can make something happen.
Good player as well. £8 million they bought for Reading. It was actually Vieira's first signing Elise, who waits to take this corner kick on the left-hand side. It's left-footed, and Richards was up from the back and actually just couldn't get over it. And in the end, he's headed the ball well off target, out for a goal kick, 1-0 United.
That was a free header as well, middle of the goal. It was just a little bit too high, he couldn't get above it. But Palace are just coming into the game now. We've got to say it's been one-way traffic. But William United just dropped off the pace. They put a lot of energy in it the first, 30-odd minutes. Palace are just starting to come into the game.
Because of the rugby, and we'll have commentary of England, Scotland in the Six Nations as soon as we're done here at Old Trafford. The best reaction for all of the games in the Premier League today will be on the 5 Live Football Daily podcast, which is you're available to download from your usual sources. And I'm sure it will be a rather eventful game at Villa Park, because there's been another goal. Pat Murphy.
It's now 2-2. Leicester have equalised. Good work by Christensen, who continues to impress down the left for Leicester to Barnes. Deep cross, diving header from Iheanacho. It's Villa 2, Leicester 2.
No longer goalless at Brentford. John Southall, you've had a goal.
Yeah, Brentford have the lead. Brentford 1, Southampton 0. Really good ball in from the left from Brian Mbeumo, and there was Ben Mee 8 yards out, a header in, his 3rd of the season. But as he did it, he clashed heads, and he's still down at the moment. It looks quite nasty. He scored the goal, but he looks in a bit of trouble down there, Ben Mee. Brentford 1, Southampton 0.
Manchester United lead by a goal to 0. Bruno Fernandes passes the ball back to Wan-Bissaka. His forward ball now, and in the interception and the run out of midfield is by Will Hughes, but he was quickly closed down by the backtracking Fernandes, and then Shaw coming across from that far side, the left. Manchester United really have worked very, very hard off the ball. Huddersfield have equalised at home to Queen's Park Rangers. Huddersfield 1, QPR 1. That's in the Championship. Fernandes, out it goes to Fred, far side. 4 minutes to go to half-time here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Chipping the ball forward is Fernandes, headed away by Klein. Fred nicks it back towards Rashford, left-hand side of the penalty area. Jordan Ayew just standing in front of Rashford, tries to invite him to have the shot. He does so, and in the end he curls a right-footed effort off target.
Well, very full of confidence, as we've said already, Rashford, but he's not having his best game today. His final product's been very poor. But he keeps trying, and he keeps trying these things because he is full of confidence.
We'll go back to Molineux. John Bennett.
Where it's Wolves 2, Liverpool 0. We've got a stoppage. Neves has got an injury, another injury to Wang Hee-chan, who's had to go off. He's walking around the pitch, but it looks like a knee injury. Adama Traore is on. Wolves 2, Liverpool 0.
Tranmere have just equalised at Stockport at Edgeley Park. Stockport 1, Tranmere 1. That's in League 2. Crystal Palace now with Elise just outside the centre circle. Short forward ball. Schlupp's onto it. Schlupp shoots, and David De Gea does ever so well to react. It moved in the air. It was probably only around knee height, but there was a little bit of deviation there, and David De Gea could take no chances, and he made a smart save to his left-hand side.
Good strike by Schlupp. I don't think David Gea thought he was going to pull the trigger, and he did. Elise again rolls him in. What is he? A good 25-30 yards out, but De Gea takes no risks and pushed it well away.
Good save by David De Gea. First real time that he's been tested here this afternoon. 3 minutes to go to the break. Elise for Crystal Palace. Schlupp, who's yet to score this season. Casemiro hooks it away for the home team. Guehi comes forward. The ball rolls up his chest. He then holds off Weghorst. Guehi's still battling. Looked like he might have been impeded. The referee, though, has played the advantage. Now it's with Mitchell on the left-hand side. Ayew is the option. Ayew now running in field. And with his back to goal, back towards Hughes. Sustained spell this for Crystal Palace. Better.
Yeah, I think it's because Man United have put so much effort in here, and I've got to say the first 35 minutes they've come off the pace the last few minutes, and Palace are getting a bit more time on the ball.
Challenge comes in from Wan-Bissaka. Crystal Palace get a throw, level the penalty area, left-hand side. Aberdeen lead Motherwell by a goal to 0 at Pittodrie. There's been another goal. Brentford, Southampton. John Southall.
Oh, they're in trouble now, Southampton. Brentford 2, Southampton 0. Weiser on the left-hand side. This was too easy. Played across to Brian Mbeumo, 12 yards out. He swept in. Brentford 2, Southampton 0.
Wolves still lead Liverpool 2-0. Brighton-Bournemouth remains goalless. Aston Villa 2, Leicester City 2. The result at Goodison earlier. Everton 1, Arsenal 0 after the rugby. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will be taking your calls on 606 at around 7:30. 08085 693, the usual number to call. Here at Old Trafford, though, Manchester United still leading by a goal to 0, and we've got about 60 seconds remaining. In a half, by and large, that Manchester United have dominated.
Oh, yeah, listen, 1-0 is definitely a fair result. Could have been more. the problem this last 5-6 minutes, Palace have not really shown anything which makes you think that they can get back into this game. And Man United just played at their pace. They've controlled it and could have added to the one, to be honest.
Yeah, they could. Weghorst gone close. Rashford, Fred. In addition to that Bruno Fernandes penalty that was converted after 7 minutes after that VAR check awarding the penalty. Match of the day tonight, BBC One 10:30 to view that incident yourself, should you so wish. Shaw, far side, plays it forward along the ground. Weghorst hits it early. Rashford was well offside there by about 8 yards. Ball didn't even reach him. We're going to have 2 minutes of added on time, which the board will go up in about 30 seconds time. Martinez hits it long up towards Anthony, headed away by Mitchell, the left back for Crystal Palace. Ayew almost turns into trouble in the shape of Casemiro, plays the ball inside to Decore back towards Richards, who clears on the edge of his own penalty area. Ayew's made that run in behind Schlupp, takes the ball out towards that far side, the right. Ayew holds it up, Klein provides the support behind him, infield now towards Schlupp to Edouard. There's the 2 minutes indicated now by the fourth official. Palace are attacking, finishing the half quite strongly. Klein joins the attack. This is much better from Crystal Palace. Ayew waits for the overlapping run by Klein, delivers the cross and caught and claimed by David De Gea. Now do those white shirts get back as the ball is lifted forward by Casemiro and Anthony running forward for Manchester United. Anthony held up by Mitchell, and challenge comes in, and it's a free kick to Manchester United.
What a pass by Casemiro as they break from De Gea, gives it to Casemiro. What a 40-50 yard pass down this right hand side. Anthony, I don't know why he's rolling on the floor. There's nothing in it, just get up. But Anthony really there should have drove for the goal. He's ended up going back to the field. Yes, it is a foul, but
and he's been booked as well. Another goal at Villa Park, Pat Murphy.
Another one for Leicester. They now lead 3-2, having been 2-1 down. And there's a debut goal, a debut appearance for Tete, the Brazilian winger. Reacted quicker than anybody to a loose ball. Took it round Martinez, scored with his left foot to his unbridled joy. It's got to be one of the goal celebrations of the day. Villa 2, Leicester 3.
Derby 1, Morecambe 0 is the latest score in League One. Free kick then for Manchester United, about 12 yards in from this right touch line. Fernandes, already on the score sheet, will take it, plays it towards the far post. Casemiro is making that run in behind, headed behind for a corner kick.
Great ball in, a lot of pace. Difficult for the defence who are backpedaling towards the 6 yard line, but they get it away, and it's a corner to Man United.
Which Fernandes is going to take in the dying embers of this first half here at Old Trafford. Rashford presents himself as the short option. Fernandes will wait. Far side the left. Crystal Palace have got everybody back bar Elise. Rashford now walks away from that far side. In it goes. Little flick by Varane, didn't quite come off. And there is indeed the half-time whistle. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Total domination by Man United. Palace have grew in the last 10 minutes of the first half. Improved slightly. But it was all Man United. Man United will be disappointed walking down that tunnel about not adding to their total of 1 goal from Fernandes from the penalty spot. And you've got to say it's just been one-way traffic.
Hughes penalised for the handball, converted after 7 minutes by Bruno Fernandes. And Manchester United 1, Crystal Palace 0 is the half-time score.
Stockport back ahead in League 2. They lead Tranmere by 2-1 at Edgeley Park. Carl Wootton with it 9 for the season for him. Deadlock has been broken at Ibrox. Roddy.
Yes, indeed. 4 minutes into injury time, touching distance of half-time. Cantwell with a cross, Tillman with a header. He got the goal, and it was astonishing because Ross County had all 11 players back in their box. Rangers 1, Ross County 0.
What a half Pat Murphy's seen at Villa Park.
Aston Villa 2, Leicester City 3. For long periods, Villa were the better team. Early goal from Watkins. He should have scored another one when the Dina cross came to him. He couldn't sort his feet out. But then after that, they just got better and better, Villa, until Maddison equalised after a daft misunderstanding between Martinez and Kamara. And after that, an own goal. Suter on his debut made it 2-1 to Villa. But they kept coming forward, Leicester. Iheanacho, splendid diving header. And just before half-time, Tete Excellent pass from the half from Dewsbury Hall, rounded the keeper, left foot, great finish. Villa 2, Leicester 3.
Sam Bell's just got a second for Bristol City on the stroke of half-time, and they lead at Preston by 2-0. Earlier, Everton beat Arsenal at Goodison. As they approach half-time at Molineux, Wolves are leading Liverpool. That is not news that Southampton will want to hear, because they've had a miserable first 45 minutes. John Southall.
They have Brentford 2, Southampton 0. Southampton capitulated in the final 5 minutes of the half. The first goal on 41, Brian Mbeumo made space on the left-hand side, whipped in a really good cross. Ben Mee headed in, clashed heads as he did it, but he's okay. The second, 3 minutes later, too easy this time Wieser again on the left-hand side with the assist. He played in Mbeumo, who swept in from 10 yards out. Add to that Wieser also missed an absolute sitter, and it could have been a lot worse. Southampton yet to have a shot on target. James Ward-Prowse with their best moment, just on the left of the area, should have taken a shot, crossed it instead, and the chance was gone. So Southampton, they've lost 7 of their last 8, and it's looking bleak again. Brentford 2, Southampton 0.
Let's go to Molineux, where it's Wolves 2, Liverpool 0 at the break, and that means that Liverpool have now conceded more goals in the Premier League this season than they did in the whole of last season. John Bennett.
And they have been woeful today. Wolves full of energy, confidence, pace. Liverpool the total opposite. The home side came out flying. Cunha and Sarabia had decent efforts within 5 minutes before the first goal on just 6 minutes. Wang Hee-chan shot from a tight angle, looping just over the line after a Joel Matip deflection. Wang Hee-chan has since gone off injured. Then on his debut, Craig Dawson fired in a second when Liverpool couldn't clear a Cunha cross. What a start for Ballon Dawson, as they call him. Liverpool finally woke up when Nunez forced a good save and Salah curled over, but Wolves' mark could easily be 4-0 up. Nunez wasted a one-on-one. Dawson put a header over. Liverpool staring at 3 Premier League away defeats in a row. Wolves looking for back-to-back home wins in the Premier League. Wolves 2, Liverpool 0.
Goalless at Brighton. Ali.
Yeah, looks like I've got what's known as the John Southall game so far this afternoon. 0-0. I tell you what, though, Bournemouth will be really grateful to go in at half-time with that being the scoreline. Last 20 minutes of this first half, Brighton have really come on strong. I was here last weekend as well. They are so good to watch. They're playing 4-2-4 at times. March and Matoma causing havoc on the wings. Some lovely link-up play as well between Welbeck and Undav up front. Both Welbeck and Undav have missed glorious chances to score. Bournemouth have done their bit as well. They've had a couple of penalty shouts. Jefferson Lerma should have had an effort on target as well, but if Brighton pick up at the start of the second half as they ended the first half, it won't be too long before they go in front. Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0.
We have England-Scotland from 4:45 here on 5 Live in the first 2023 Six Nations match. It looks like Ireland are going to get off to a winning start. Gareth Lewis.
Yeah, they've soaked up pretty much everything Wales have thrown at them this second half, Mark. An early try for Wales, yes, from Liam Williams to narrow the gap to 27-10 to Ireland, but Wales have had 6, 7, 8 if not out-and-out try-scoring chances, then chances to create try-scoring chances, and either good Irish defence or Welsh mistakes mean that it hasn't happened. Liam Williams in the sin bin too for Wales. The Gatland return not quite going to plan. Wales 10, Ireland 27, 12 minutes until the end.
Sports Extra if you want to listen to the conclusion of that. In the early games in the Championship, leaders Burnley won 3-0 at Norwich. Second place Sheffield United were held to a goalless draw at Rotherham. In the 3 o'clock games, let's start with Middlesbrough in third at home to Blackpool. Chris Coles.
And they're very good value are Middlesbrough, Mark, for their 1-goal lead, seeing most of the ball. They're carving out some excellent opportunities. They'd already hit the bar and forced a very smart save before the inevitable Chuba Akpom goal. He's now scored or assisted in 10 of Michael Carrick's 14 league games in charge. Bending shot from the edge of the box, in off the post. Number 16 for him. Blackpool have offered sporadic threats on the break. They're not out of it, but some more attacking endeavour needed in the second half. Middlesbrough 1, Blackpool 0.
Luton are in fourth. They lead at the break as well. So Hale.
Yeah, 1-0 they lead by against Stoke. Mark, good value for the lead. Their goal, Pelly Ruddock and Panzu's super strike after 6 minutes set the tempo for the half. Jordan Clark, he was denied a penalty. Carlton Morris blasted over after picking himself up from 18 yards away. Stoke non-existent as an attacking threat. Half-time, Luton 1, Stoke 0.
Watford are in 5th. There's a pattern here. They lead by a goal as well. Katie Smith.
Yeah, Reading 0, Watford 1, a dire opening half an hour though. Just an example, I'm sat with John Akers working for TV today. We were trying to decide which was more entertaining to us, a foul throw or a clearance that almost flew out the stadium. It got better though, 30 minutes in. A great work from Benfica Loni Araujo on the right of the box. Actually, Ismaila Sarr though, given the goal, got his toes to the ball to tap it in. So work to do for the home side. They're 4 without a win in the league. Reading 0, Watford 1.
Next to Victoria Polly at the Den.
Well, we thought we might have Millwall 1, Sunderland 0 as a half-time score, but after 28 minutes, George Honeyman's tap-in was ruled out. It was parried away from a Zian Fleming shot. Honeyman was there to follow up, but after some discussion between the referee and his assistant, it was ruled out for offside, and it's gone from bad to worse for Millwall, because on the stroke of half-time, attacker Mason Bennett went down off the ball, and he's only just been stretchered off the pitch. Goalless at half-time.
Elsewhere in the Championship, Huddersfield 1, QPR 1. QPR took the lead there through Jamal Lowe, but Huddersfield, who haven't won in their last 3 and they are in the bottom 3 in the Championship, equalised through the former Sunderland striker Martin Waghorn. So it's 1-1 there. It's goalless between Hull and Cardiff. Preston 0, Bristol City 2 at the break. Mark Sykes and Sam Bell with the goals for Nigel Pearson's side, who were unbeaten in their last 4. And Swansea have turned it round at home to Birmingham. They were a goal down thanks to Scott Hogan's 10th of the season, but Joel Pirro equalised with his 11th of the season, and Liam Cullen has put Russell Martin's side ahead at the break into League One. The top 2 are meeting at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday in 2nd against Plymouth, and Shojo Saka's watching this one.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth the leaders 0. Callum Patterson's early strike, the difference here. New centre-back signing Aidan Flint could have made it 2 for Wednesday. Michael Cooper saved from close range onto the post. The young Plymouth keeper Cooper was then forced off with a knee injury. He could be out for a while. That's a real worry for them. If it stays like this, Wednesday will go top. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0.
Lincoln are on for the course for their first win in 9 in the league. Ben Houser's 8th of the season has given them a 1-0 lead at Accrington. Goalless between Bolton and Cheltenham. MK Dons took an early lead at Bristol Rovers thanks to Mo Isa's 7th of the season. From the penalty spot, they lead by a goal to 0. Cambridge lead Ipswich by a goal to 0. Cambridge are next to bottom. Ipswich are in 3rd. David McGoldrick's 13th of the season gave Derby a 1-0 lead on the stroke of half-time at home to Inform Morecambe. It's Exeter 1, Charlton 2, Fleetwood 0, Burton 0, Forest Green Rovers 0, Peterborough 0, Oxford 0, Shrewsbury 0, Port Vale 0, Wickham 1. They've won 2 of the last 3 in the league of Gareth Ainsworth's side. It's goalless at Fratton Park as well between Portsmouth and Barnsley. Jody Morris took charge of Swindon for the first time today, but they were beaten 2-1 at Newport. They were down to 10 men from the 15th minute as well. In the 3 o'clock games, Bradford lead Mansfield by a goal to 0 thanks to Andy Cook's 17th of the season. It's goalless between Carlisle and Harrogate and Colchester and Barrow. Crewe 0, Grimsby 2, Doncaster 0, Hartlepool 0, Gillingham 0, Crawley 0, Leyton Orient 0, AFC Wimbledon 0, and it's also goalless between Northampton and Walsall. Salford, who are in 5th and won their last 3 at home, lead at the break against bottom of the table Rochdale thanks to Matt Smith's 8th of the season. And it's Stockport 2, Tranmere 1 and Sutton 0, Stevenage 0 into the Scottish Premiership at Ibrox. Roddy Forsyth.
Rangers, I was going to say Ross County have never beaten Rangers. That's a distinction Ross County share with Notts County, incidentally. But they must have fancied themselves at half-time or just before half-time in the minutes added on to the first half, because by that point their pressing game had disrupted Rangers, and their defensive ability to get all 11 players back into the box was equally frustrating at the other end of the pitch. That is until Todd Cantwell found a microcosm of space to get across in, and there was Malik Tillman, who'd come on as a substitute for the injured John Lundstrom earlier, and Tillman got a header maybe a yard out, if even, and that's what divides the sides at half-time. Rangers 1, Ross County 0.
At Pittodrie, Aberdeen lead Motherwell by a goal to 0. It's Hearts 0, Dundee United 1. Stephen Fletcher got the goal for Dundee United, but Ryan Edwards has been sent off there for Dundee United, so that will give Hearts hope for the second half. At Tynecastle, Livingston lead Kilmarnock by 3 goals to 0, and it's St Mirren 0, Hibs 0. In the Championship in Scotland, Arbroath 1, Wraith 0, Hamilton 1, Dundee 1, Inverness 0, Moreton 1 and Partick Thistle 0, Cove Rangers 1. In League 1, Airdrieonians 0, Clyde 0, Alloa are 1-0 up on Peterhead, Dunfermline lead Montrose by a goal to 0, and it's the same score as Kelty Hearts lead Falkirk, goalless between Queen of the South and FC Edinburgh. In League 2, bottom of the table, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Annan 2, East Fife 0, Stirling 0, Elgin 0, Albion Rovers 1, Forfar 1, Stranraer 0, and leaders Dumbarton are a goal up at Stenhousemuir. Another try for Ireland. Gareth.
Yeah, and that's all over now, chappers. Bonus point try. Josh van der Fleer underneath the post. Wales were looking tired. Ireland sensed it. Relentless wave after wave of attacks. And Ireland will have a great start to the Six Nations. Already looks a bit like a championship decider, doesn't it, in Dublin next week with the visit of France. Wales, some work to do for Warren Gatland. They trail by 34 points to 10.
In the Premier 15's women's competition, wins for Exeter and Gloucester Hartpury and Saracens this afternoon. In the Welsh FA Cup, Cwmbran 1, TNS 3, Barla Town 2, Britain Ferry 0 and Connors Quay 5. Airbus 0, and that just leaves the National League in England to do. Aldershot 1, Dorking 0, Borehamwood 0, Chesterfield 0, Bromley 0, Maidenhead 0, Eastleigh 0, Woking 0, Oldham 0, FC Halifax 0, Gateshead are a goal up at Solihull Moors. It's goalless between Southend and York, Torquay 1, Notts County 1, Wealdstone 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Yeovil 0, Maidstone 1. Wrexham are in action at 5:20 away at Altrincham. 4:01. Here's Jill Mackenzie in the news.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The sister of Nicola Booley, who's been missing for more than a week in Lancashire, says there's no evidence she fell into a river. Yesterday, police said that was their working hypothesis, but Louise Cunningham is urging people to keep an open mind and keep looking for the mum of two. China's trying to calm the diplomatic row with the US after one of its surveillance balloons flew over American territory. Beijing says it's a weather balloon that was blown off course. And the Energy Ombudsman, which mediates problems between energy customers and companies, has received a record number of complaints. More than 100,000 were made in 2022. That's 50% more than 2 years before.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
Back at Old Trafford shortly when Manchester United lead Crystal Palace by a goal to 0, but let's get some reaction from the early game at Goodison. Everton 1, Arsenal 0. Here's Sean Dyche.
Clean sheet, 1-0. I like them 1-0s. Every manager does. They pretend they don't. They do. Trust me. No, look, a lot of work done this week. Been very pleased with the players. Their honesty has been invaluable to us as a staff to get the start point, if you like, and the base to work from. I must mention a few of them felt they'd let down the last manager and staff, so I admired that honesty. So we built on the back of that and said, well, we can correct that, but we've got to do it together. And I was pleased with that side of the game today. You know, quality-wise, we can build that, but there had to be a base to work from, that to be a feel of a group and a commitment to the cause, and I thought there was plenty of that today.
Guy Mowbray there, match of the day, 10:30 tonight on BBC One. Alan and Ian Wright alongside Gary. Let's go to Leopardstown as we look for all sorts of clues ahead of Cheltenham in just over a month's time. John Hunt.
One thing we know, Mark, is that Galopin Des Champs will be a red-hot favourite for the Cheltenham Gold Cup in 5 weeks' time. An 8th winner this afternoon of the Irish Gold Cup. He was terrific, especially away from the last fence. And Willie Mullins, his trainer, had a pretty good day today. He won 2 other big races. The most impressive winner of the day was El Fabiolo in the Irish Arkle Chase. That one was ridden by Daryl Jacob to an easy win. And Gala Marceau also won the Spring Novice Hurdle for the stable as well. Back tomorrow, Mark. Irish Champion Hurdle Day. Should be a thriller. Honeysuckle against State Man against Vauban. That is a hurdle race and a half.
Great stuff, John. Thank you very much. Wales 10, Ireland 34 with just a couple of minutes to go at the Principality. And then from 4:45-ish, we'll be at Twickenham with Chris Jones for the Calcutta Cup.
And the England fly half Marcus Smith's been out practicing for much of the past hour. He's now been joined by his teammates. Scotland out as well. We're under 45 minutes until Calcutta Cup kickoff, and Twickenham is filling up for the start of the Steve Borthwick era. Borthwick's been very impressive since taking over from Eddie Jones, but it's now that it really counts. Can he give England that clarity and direction that was so missing in the autumn? But Scotland and their supporters are full of belief too, given their recent record against England. 4:45 kickoff.
Been a fascinating day in the Premier League so far at Goodison. Everton 1, Arsenal 2. Half times, Aston Villa 2, Leicester 3, Brentford 2, Southampton 0. Goalless between Brighton and Bournemouth. Wolves are 2 up at Molineux against Liverpool. And Manchester United have a 1-goal lead against Crystal Palace. And at Old Trafford, let's rejoin Chris and Ian.
Thank you, Mark. Kilmarnock, I can tell you already, have just got a goal back at Livy. Livingston 3, Kilmarnock 1 in the Scottish Premiership. Here at Old Trafford, Manchester United leading by a goal to nil. Neither side has made a change. I'll run through the two teams for you. De Gea is in goal, back four, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Fred, Casemiro, Fernandes, Anthony, Weghorst and Rashford. Andre Mariner blows his whistle. Second half is underway. Manchester United restart the game. Red shirts, white shorts, black socks, attacking the Stretford end. They're playing from right to left against a Crystal Palace side in the predominantly all-white, who have Jacinto Whiter in goal. Klein, Guehi, Richards and Mitchell is their defence. Schlupp, Corey Hughes in midfield. Elise Ayew supporting Odsonne Edouard. And Manchester United extremely dominant in that first half. And in fact, their only gripe, really, from Erik ten Hag, who celebrated his 53rd birthday on Thursday, is the fact that the lead could indeed be greater. But it is 1-0, and it is with Martinez just outside the centre circle, and he goes short to Shaw. Shaw hits the ball early towards Weghorst, takes it off his chest, lays the ball back to Casemiro, who spreads the ball out towards the right-hand side, and Manchester United are attacking, and it's Anthony coming in off that right touchline. Fernandes back towards Shaw, central position to Rashford, left corner of the area, into the penalty area to Fred, turns it across, Weghorst almost there, cleared away by Guehi. We will go to Brentford and John Southall.
Brentford 2, Southampton 0, but Southampton have made two significant changes at half-time. Kamaldeen Sulemani, £22 million, and Paul Onuachu, £18.5 million, have both come on for their debuts. My goodness, they need some inspiration from them. Brentford 2, Southampton 0.
Crystal Palace will bring the ball clear. Elise on this near side, the right. Elise runs forward, sliding across with Casemiro. Early goal in the second half at Reading. Katie Smith.
It gets worse for the home side. Reading 0, Watford 2 as they push towards the top six. Ryan Porteous on his debut. It was a corner from the right-hand side, and he got himself in front of the near post and put it past the keeper on his head. Reading 0, Watford 2.
A handshake there in the director's box from one former England manager to the current England manager, as Sam Allardyce just makes his way past Gareth Southgate in the director's box away towards our left-hand side. Derby have got a second goal. The ball goes back to De Gea, all in blue away towards our right, and he clears. So Derby County 2, Morecambe 0. Derby extending their unbeaten run to 15 games for Paul Warne's side. Full time now in Cardiff in the Six Nations. Gareth Lewis.
Warren Gatland couldn't wave his magic wand at the start of his second spell in charge of Wales. Ireland started strongly, finished strongly, soaked up everything Wales threw at them in between. Wales 10, Ireland 34.
A reminder that England-Scotland will be live on BBC Radio 5 Live as soon as we are done here at Old Trafford. Newcastle United West Ham, that 5:30 kickoff in the Premier League. The first half will be on Sports Extra. The second half will follow the rugby, and then it's 6:06. Tomorrow, 5 Live's Premier League Sunday, Nottingham Forest Leeds United at 2, to be followed by Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City at 4:30. What have you made of the start of the second half, Chris Waddle?
Very much like the first half. All Man United in possession, stroking the ball around nicely, waiting for an opportunity. Palace well organised for the second half, playing a 4-3-3, but they haven't done anything to get the ball back, and they're not trying to get the ball back. They seem happy just to be standoff-minded, waiting for a moment or an opportunity.
Ball is hit long and high. Anthony just gives a little lean into to Guehi. Guehi, though, will be back goal side. Anthony down by the corner flag on that far side, the right, links up with Fernandes. Back with Anthony it goes. The Brazilian darts inside. Fernandes with his back to goal. Little touch from Wan-Bissaka. I noticed that Anthony Martial, who came back after a hamstring injury, missing the last 4 games. Bruno Fernandes to Weghorst on the edge of the area. He suffered since broken down, and he's not involved here today. Break on now for Palace. Edouard enters the penalty area. Edouard has to go it alone, and he runs into Martinez, and Martinez actually then gets quickly back to his feet to prevent the ball from going behind for a corner kick. No wonder the United supporters have taken to the World Cup winner.
Yeah, they've got to be careful of Man United. They are throwing a lot of players forward, and Palace's time caught him on the break with Eduardo, didn't he? At least he tried to join him, but great defending from Martinez, and away it goes to get a free kick on Anthony on the right-hand side, very deep in the Man United half.
So not too sure how long Martial will be out for after suffering that reaction to his comeback game in midweek. Portsmouth lead Barnsley by a goal to nil in League One. That's at Fratton Park. Here is Varane, the former French international now. Gillingham 1, Crawley 0 is the latest score in League 2. Martinez, midway through his own half, 5 minutes into this second period, goes square to Varane, calling it a day. 93 appearances he made for France, as Varane turns and it goes all the way back to David De Gea. Wolves-Liverpool, John Bennett.
It's Wolves 2, Liverpool 0, but Liverpool want a penalty. The ball did hit Max Kilman's hand. It deflected off Andy Robertson, though, at very close quarters, so it's not being given. It was Naby Keita's shot, which was eventually cleared away. Wolves 2, Liverpool 0.
Derby 3, Morecambe 0, and a hat-trick for David McGoldrick, as Derby County's excellent run of form continues. Manchester United still leading by a goal to 0. That early penalty from Bruno Fernandes. Ball is rolled up towards Edouard, tries to roll away from Martinez, and he was caught, and that will be a free kick in the centre circle.
Well, there's a claim for a yellow card there, I've got to say. Martinez got the wrong side. Edouard lets the ball cross his body, and he turns out to the left, and he comes down the right hand side, Martinez, and takes him out deliberately, and they're asking the referee, are you going to do anything about it? And he's just said free kick, play on.
Free kick taken by Palace. Back it goes to Richards, and then because of the proximity of Bruno Fernandes, he turns and goes all the way back to Vicente White. Crystal Palace with Guehi. Still that slender advantage for the home team, but Schlupp now breaking forward from the midfield. Left corner of the area, tries to whip it in early, and it goes off the legs of Varane. And Palace, nice little passage of play this, get a corner kick.
Yeah, they're getting a little joy down the sides behind the fullbacks. You know Man United like to push everybody on high. The two fullbacks are a good 10-15 yards ahead of the two centre-halves, and then if Palace keep running down them channels, they're going to get a lot of joy.
Crystal Palace with Patrick Vieira, unbeaten in 3 games actually against Manchester United as a manager. Many a tussle as a player for Arsenal, of course. Indeed, Arsenal supporters will remember that winning penalty in the FA Cup final shootout against Manchester United in 2005. Elise with the outswinging corner from the left. Eventually it's been cleared, only as far as Decore, who turns to Hughes. Hughes, that's going to be an uncontested drop ball here because it struck the knees of Andre Marin as Hughes tried to sweep it out towards the left-hand side. Despite the best efforts of Andre Mariner, it was just one of those that he just couldn't bend his legs back. It's an uncontested drop ball for Palace. We might be buoyed by this spell that they're having in the second half. 8 minutes in, Elise. Little touch by Schlupp, that was sharp. Schlupp enters the penalty area, hasn't been properly dealt with. There was a ricochet there from the attempted clearance by Martinez. Fred's kept the ball in play, and Casemiro looks for the early release to Rashford, cut out by Klein, out it goes for a throw.
Well, Man United's just come off the pace. I know they play a lot of football, and they are feeling the pace. I'm just looking at Bruno Fernandes having to shout at all the midfield and back four, basically, come on, we need more energy, need a better tempo, letting Palace come in, and Palace look dangerous at the minute.
They have claimed 13 points from losing positions in the Premier League this season. Only Tottenham have actually gained more with 14. But Palace showing more urgency, it would seem, in the second half.
I think he's had words. Listen, he's probably said, if you're going to get beat, don't make it easy, make it difficult, have a goal. And they've definitely upped the tempo.
The only trouble is they've scored 7 goals away from home this season. 6 of them have actually been in the first half, so they need to certainly add to that here today. Here is Bruno Fernandes for Manchester United. The deflection takes it away from Weghorst. Palace clear up towards Schlupp to Edouard, and then Martinez comes across, out it goes for a throw.
Yeah, he did well to read the situation there, but if he doesn't time it right, he's in, Edouard. But you've got to look at the subs here. I think Man United next 5-10 minutes, if they don't liven up, there'll be a lot of changes.
Well, certainly Palace have livened up without a shadow of a doubt. Lincoln City have got a second goal. So what is it, without a win in 8 games? They're now leading at Accrington by 2 goals to 0. Here is Klein on this near side, challenged by Rashford. Klein will get there first, keeps the ball in play, back towards Richard, and Richards goes all the way back to the Stretford end to Vicente Waita, who puts his right foot through that and clears long. Varane heads it forward. First time ball early by Hughes. Martinez tidies up in the United defence. We'll go to Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
Still Villa 2, Leicester City 3. I'll be amazed if we're going to stop at 5 goals here. A lot of action at either end. Coutinho 25 yards out on the sub. Good save from Ward. And then Tete becoming more and more influential on his debut. Left foot just wide at the other end. Villa 2, Leicester 3.
Rashford with the shot just over the top. Just cut inside onto his right foot. Just couldn't keep it down.
I'm surprised that he did everything right. What a great ball by Fernandes. Brilliant first touch by Rashford in the side of the penalty area. And there, for me, wrap your foot round it, bend it away from the keeper. It's opened up for a massive gap, and he's went for power, and it's high over the bar.
To make matters worse for Accrington, they're now down to 10 men. Harry Perrett has been sent off as they trail at home. Palace play the ball short and out from the back, trying to beat the United press in front of the Stretford end. Tarek Mitchell stands on the ball. He's lost out now to Bruno Fernandes. Anthony now running away from Mitchell with pace, enters the penalty area with a cutback, and there was Chris Richards dropping to one knee to clear it away left-footed. Down by the corner flag, it's a throw to United. 1-0 they lead.
Man United's got that in the locker though, haven't they? They can up the tempo when they need to. In the last 2-3 minutes, Rashford's chance now. Anthony getting around the back, trying to pull the ball back to a red shirt. Nobody there, unfortunately for him. Lovely bit of skill.
There's a player down over on the far side, so there is going to be a stoppage here. And Weghorst is going to be coming off, by the way. Garnacho is going to be coming on. So you did say, Chris, that there would be a change, and Erik ten Hag has left it 11-12 minutes into the second half to make that change. So the young Argentine will be coming on. Meanwhile, there is a stoppage in play here. It gives us an opportunity to go to Brentford. John Southall.
Brentford 2, Southampton 0, but much better from Southampton. Perro with a shot from the left of the area, palmed away by Raya, and Sulemana, the record signing, cut in from the left, again held by the Brentford keeper. Sulemana's looked lively since he came on. Brentford 2, Southampton 0.
Bruno Fernandes is the player getting treatment. They'll hope that it's not serious, especially in the light of Christian Eriksen's injury this week. We will go to Brighton now. Alistair Bruce Ball.
10 minutes gone in the second half. Slightly sluggish start to the second period. Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0. Danny Welbeck's just hit a rising shot over the bar from the angle. Moises Caicedo about to get back into action for Brighton as a second half substitute. Brighton fans will just want him to get his head down and keep playing as he was before all the transfer talk in January. Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0.
To Molineux, John Bennett.
It's 2 Liverpool 0. It is all Liverpool, but they're struggling to create chances. Moutinho and Raul Jimenez coming on for Wolves, who have dropped very deep. It's Wolves 2, Liverpool 0.
Play is back underway. Bruno Fernandes yet to enter the field after that treatment. Ipswich Town have equalised at Cambridge. Accrington 0, Lincoln 3, Swansea City 2, Birmingham City 2 in the Championship, and Barrow are leading at Colchester in League 2 by 1-0. Colchester 0, Barrow 1. Garnacho waits to come on. There's been a goal at the Riverside of the Championship. Chris Coles.
A second for Middlesbrough, who take control of this game just shy of the hour. Relentless Chuba Akpom, goal number 17 of the season, sweeping home from close range. Middlesbrough 2, Blackpool 0.
Offside against Odsonne Edouard. That'll be 11 without a win for Blackpool in the Championship. So Garnacho waits to come on. Fernandes is back on the field of play and seems okay. So Wout Weghorst, his home Premier League debut here at Old Trafford, just shy of an hour. So Garnacho comes on. He'll go down the left. Rashford, you would imagine, will go centrally, Chris.
Yeah, I think that's what he's asking for. I think because as well in Palace are going to have to start taking risks through and play a little higher. And with Rashford's pace, you can see what he's thinking about there. It is well with him. I can see why he's been brought into the club. Technically, I've got to admit, he's not the most gifted player I've ever saw in a red shirt, but he puts an effort in and he brings the team up the park.
So Garnacho is on. Swansea are back in front, by the way. Swansea 3, Birmingham 2 in the Championship. It finished Wales 10, Ireland 34 in the opening game of the Six Nations. Commentary to come from Twickenham. The Calcutta Cup, England against Scotland. We'll follow the football here on BBC Radio 5 Live. We've got half an hour remaining of this contest, and David De Gea, all in blue, outside the D of his penalty area as we look away towards our right-hand side, just plays it short and forward towards Varane, and Varane then, because of Elise and Edouard, goes back towards the Manchester United goalkeeper, and then he returns the ball to Varane. Varane will come forward now and out towards Wan-Bissaka, plays it short, Anthony gives it to him back. Crystal Palace at this stage defending very, very deep. There's been a goal at Millwall, Victoria Polly.
And it's come for Millwall just before the hour mark. The captain, Jake Cooper, from a corner. He was down on the ground, but he managed to poke the ball off of the post and into the back of the net to make it Millwall 1, Sunderland 0.
We'll be at Sunderland in midweek for their cup replay against Fulham. You'll hear that on BBC Radio 5 Live on Wednesday. Manchester United are attacking on that far side, the right, with Anthony. Plays the ball back to Casemiro. Chips the ball into the central area of the Palace half for Shaw, to Garnacho, up against Klein. Garnacho then goes back inside to find Shaw. Every Crystal Palace player in those white shirts are back behind the ball, as Manchester United now, with Varane and Martinez, are inside the Palace half. But Palace defending stoutly, no way through, so they have to go back towards Varane once more.
The problem is here, they're getting beat. They've got to get the ball off Man United. It's all right parking the bus and letting Man United have the ball in front of them, but the clock's ticking and you're getting beat.
Well, all their 6 wins have come against teams in the bottom half of the table. They've taken just 5 points from those in the top half, and certainly they might be just starting nervously to look over their shoulders, maybe Crystal Palace. Preston 1, Bristol City 2 is the latest score from Deepdale, so Preston have a goal back. They have lost their last 4 at home, as Manchester United patiently play the ball at the back, and then Martinez has space to run forward, and left of the centre circle over the halfway line he finds Shaw, who's ahead of him. Garnacho now out to this left touchline, almost level with the penalty area. Garnacho comes on the inside. They're quick though to try and close him down. Garnacho goes into a central area. Wan-Bissaka passes the ball out to Anthony, back inside now to Wan-Bissaka, 30 yards out from goal. That's nice football by Manchester United. Garnacho takes it over inside the penalty area. Shaw drills it in low. Brilliant goal by Manchester United. Finished off by Marcus Rashford, a man in form, but that was sumptuous football, and they carved open the Palace defence. Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Oh, what a great goal that is, isn't it? Brilliant team play. 4 or 5 players involved, going from one wing to the other, all showing great first touch awareness, and it finished off with Marcus Rashford. Who else? Full of confidence, little side put into it. I've got to say, what was Richards doing? He's marking him, he walks away from him, as the ball comes across, it's in the back of the net. But Man United thoroughly deserve the lead.
The type of goal that you could watch time and time again, the way that they just passed it around, so slick, the interchange.
Well, there's no pressure on the ball anyway, and look, they've got it. I'm watching the replay here. Pass, no pressure, no pressure. The way it comes out to Shaw, first time ball in. Richards, I don't know where he's going, and it's a great finish by Rashford. It looks easy, it's not.
Marcus Rashford takes his tally to 19 for the season. 11 goals now in 13 since the World Cup. And also you'd have to say that the substitution from Erik ten Hag has paid off.
Yeah, a lot of energy now. Rashford going down the middle. Garnacho Shaw on this left-hand side looks very, very lively. And we know what Anthony's about. Draws defenders in without beating them, draws them in well and plays around them. But that front three is very hard to deal with.
Fleetwood 1, Burton 0 is the latest score in League One. And if Crystal Palace were just having designs of trying to get their way back into the game, that's the second goal to give Manchester United the cushion. There will maybe be repeats of what happened 17 days ago.
If you're looking at the Palace, who brought a lot of fans here today, all they want now is to see their players have a goal, and if it gets beat 4, fine.
Penalty at Reading, Katie Smith.
And it's been scored by Tom Ince, top scorer, son of the boss. Reading get a goal back. Reading 1, Watford 2.
Crystal Palace are going to make a double change. Eberechi Eze and Mateta are going to be coming on. Meanwhile, Burton have equalised at Fleetwood. Fleetwood 1, Burton 1, and you're up to date. BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service. We're also available on the BBC Sounds app as well. So Mateta waits to come on. In fact, it's going to be a triple change, because I can see that Albert Sambi Lokonga, who's arrived on loan to the end of the season from Arsenal, is also going to be coming on for Patrick Vieira's side. Shaw, forward ball, Garnacho, Fred, back towards Martinez. Manchester United lead by 2-0. Leyton Orient are 1-0 up, the leaders of League Two, at home to Wimbledon. They've not been in good form of late, just one win in 7, as Casemiro delivers the cross, and it's headed out by Richards. He had to act on that because he had Rashford making the run in behind. We'll go back to Molineux, John Bennett.
Yeah, first change for Liverpool, who are still trailing by 2-0 against Wolves. Jordan Henderson is on for Naby Keita, but Wolves now have a chance to break with Adama Traore in the box. They're defending really well, Wolverhampton Wanderers, as this chance is cleared. Wolves 2, Liverpool 0.
Hull 1, Cardiff City 0 is the latest score in the Championship. As what's happened over on that far side, the United players are reacting angrily, and all of a sudden it's just sparked. And all of a sudden there's a melee now, and there's a lot of jostling, pushing, shoving going on. All very, very ugly. Fred's involved, are you? And the referee's really struggling to try and quell the players.
I think it's Anthony. I think Mitchell pushes Anthony into the side, down the side of the ramp on the side of the pitch, and that's where it's all kicked off.
Well, Andre Mariner, and certainly I would imagine Tony Harrington back at Stockley Park, the VAR official, will be having a look at this just to make sure. Might just have been pushing and shoving, we'll wait and see. But yeah, it was Schlupp who pushed Anthony down the bank, and that was the catalyst for it then all to kick off. And then all of a sudden, everybody was in.
I've got to say, and there's not a lot in it. He sort of ends up running into him rather than anything. He hasn't pushed him down the side of the pitch.
So,
handbags.
A yellow card has been shown there. That goal about Leyton Orient taking the lead. Details of it from Nesta McGregor.
Yeah, George Moncur with the goal. Leyton Orient 1, AFC Wimbledon 0. The midfielder fumbled his way into the box. A few tackles later, he looked absolutely shattered, and he kind of just swung his right foot at it. A teammate tried a flick but completely missed, and somehow the ball is nestled into the bottom of the corner. Cross or shot, only he will know. Leyton Orient 1, AFC Wimbledon 0.
So Lokonga's going to be coming on for Hughes, I can tell you. We know that Mateta will replace Edouard. Meanwhile, a goal at Rangers, ready for side.
And this is a shocker for Rangers fans. Ross County have equalised, and it's been coming. They forced 3 successive corner kicks, and at one point Noah Kennan struck a ball, but McLaughlin had to flip over the top of the crossbar, and it was from one of those corner kicks that Jordan White has levelled the score for Livingston. So Rangers 1, Livingston 1 midway through the second half.
I said that Tony Harrington would be busy in the Stockley Park. They are looking for a possible red card, VAR.
Well, I don't know where it's going to come. I mean, there's no punches, was there? There was a lot of pushing and grabbing all the shirts, but I didn't see any.
Oh, I think it might be Casemiro. Casemiro had his mind. He's got his hands around the neck of Will Hughes. But this could take an eternity. Because you're looking, the scrum in rugby union parlance was so great that they'll be looking for everything to make sure that they've not missed it.
I thought we'd gone straight to rugby there.
So VAR is having a look for potential violent conduct, which I've got a feeling it'll be Casemiro.
Not running across to the screen again.
So Tony Harrington, the VAR official, has clearly asked Andre Mariner to come across to the monitor, and he's going to have a look at this himself. So we've got a possible red card. Manchester United lead by 2-0. Does that constitute, in your opinion, violent conduct?
No.
The way that Casemiro's grabbed him?
No,
round?
I just think he's keeping him out of it. It looks like he's holding him back. I think, why do you want to get involved? No, he's just got a hold of him. He's watching what's going on, and he's kept a hold of him. Look. He's not deliberately doing anything. He's not paying you. Look, he's just stopped him getting involved.
Well, the communication is constant between the VAR and the match officials. So Tony Harrington will have told Andre Mariner what he thinks will have happened. Andre Mariner's now come across to the monitor to have a look at it himself. He signalled that there's going to be and Casemiro is saying, what, me? And Casemiro is shown a red card. Manchester United are down to 10 after VAR. Casemiro has been dismissed for violent conduct.
I've got to say, the level of this refereeing today, it's shambolic. For me, he's kept them away. He's not hurt them. He didn't say, will you go down, as if to say he's been hurt. He basically kept a hold of him to stop him getting involved, in my eyes, to take somebody out of the way. You're not getting involved, I'm not getting involved. I mean, that is absolutely one of the worst decisions I've ever seen.
Well, so that would be a 3-game ban, so it would rule him out of both games against Leeds United and then the Leicester City game.
I mean, and basically they were split to one side, he stopped them. I'm sorry, that is shocking.
Let's bring us up to date with the football. Salford 2, Rochdale 0. We know about Rangers and Ross County, with Ross County equalising there at Ibrox. Derby 5, Morecambe 0, Middlesbrough 3, Blackpool 0, and Aberdeen are leading Motherwell by 2-0. Salford 2, Rochdale 0. We're back underway. Goal at Wolves now, John Bennett.
Wolves 3, Liverpool 0, and it's Ruben Neves. Brilliant counter-attack by Wolves. Adama Traore with the cross, side-footed, and Neves carried it into the 6-yard box and found the back of the net. What a win for Wolves. Wolves 3, Liverpool 0.
Play back underway here. Manchester United down to 10, leading by 2-0, but Casemiro just sent off. Aberdeen have got a third there at home to Motherwell, and you're up to date. Now, this is Schlupp. Schlupp passes the ball forward, and then the shot taken on and fired wide by Edouard. Let's go to Middlesbrough. Chris Coles.
Middlesbrough cruising towards a 6th win in 7. They lead 3-0 over Blackpool. Corner, flick on header. Paddy McNair at the back post to tap home. Middlesbrough 3, Blackpool 0.
Will Hughes is getting replaced. Changes then being taken place here for Crystal Palace. We'll go to Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
Still Villa 2, Leicester 3. Villa having all the pressure now and the chances. Coutinho over the bar, couldn't get across it, and then a goal for him, he thought, chalked offside, but Leicester still look dangerous on the break. It's Villa 2, Leicester 3.
Eberechi Eza has come on for Jordan Ayew. Lokonga has replaced Hughes. It looked like it was going to be a double change for the time being, but they appear to have changed their mind regarding Mateta, so he is still waiting. Edouard remains on the field of play. There were other yellow cards as well in the build-up to that incident. Schlupp was shown a yellow, and Anthony also was shown a yellow before that VAR check for that red card that was issued to Casemiro. Manchester United lead by 2-0. We've heard from Pat at Villa, we've heard from John at Wolves, we can hear from another John now. Brentford Southampton, John Southall.
Brentford 2, Southampton 0, but Theo Walcott's just had 2 chances for Southampton, both of them blocked. The second on the follow-up, Che Adams headed wide, also had a bit of trouble in the away end as well. Looked like the Southampton fans fighting amongst themselves. 15 to 20 stewards came in and took a few of them away. Bleak on and off the pitch for Southampton. Brentford 2, Southampton 0.
Not a good start for Duncan Ferguson. Forest Green 0, Peterborough 1 is the latest score in League One. Klein waits to take the throw, level with the penalty area right hand side. Palace trail by 2-0. 5 Live and the World Service. Rugby commentary, England, Scotland. Chris Jones and the team is on its way. We have 16 minutes remaining. Let's go back to the Amex. Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Still Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0. Brighton trying to break Bournemouth down here. Bournemouth nearly got one on the counter. Would have been a dream debut for new striker Antoine Semenyo. Beat Veltman on the halfway line. Ran it up to the edge of the box. Estupiñán with some brilliant timely defending to block the shot for Brighton. Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0.
Manchester United will move to 42 points as it stands. They'll be 8 points adrift of the leaders Arsenal, who lost earlier today at Goodison Park. A winning start for Sean Dyche, a dream start for Sean Dyche as he takes charge of Everton. Commentary of the 5:30 game. The first half will be on Sports Extra, providing regular updates from St James's Park will be Lee Blakeman, who has the team news.
And Newcastle are forced into making one change. Bruno Guimaraes is suspended, so Alan Saint-Maximin comes in. West Ham, one change from their last league game, which was the 2-0 home win over Everton. Zuma is injured, Kerr comes in.
Hearts against the 10 men of Dundee United have equalised at Tynecastle in the Scottish Premiership. Hearts 1, Dundee United 1. Crystal Palace, meanwhile, have got a corner kick, right-hand side, in front of that vocal travelling support that has travelled up from South London. Elise waits to take it on this near side. The right, to left-footed, and a free header, brilliant save by De Gea. Guehi powered the header, and David De Gea with an acrobatic save. Brilliant.
Well, I don't know who's marking him as a centre-half. He can't give any centre-half a free header, and he'd be disappointed he didn't score. It's a great save by De Gea, but middle of the goal, middle of the 6-yard box, nobody marking. Another man down.
Last goal was almost a year ago. There's a corner kick from the left-hand side this time. Headed out, fired back in, and a little touch. And Crystal Palace have got a goal back. The shot came in from Decore, and it was Schlupp who just directed it back goal, beating De Gea. And Crystal Palace, against the 10 men of Manchester United, have reduced the arrears. Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 1. Jeffrey Schlupp with his first of the season.
Well, great finish, by the way. I'd say that a little flick with the outside of the left foot. The corner, they should have learned from the first one. This time they get it half clear. It's a scuffy effort, and it's a great goal, by the way. Lovely flick with the outside of his boot. People ball watching. Ball just bounces. He stood on his own. I think it was Rashford who was marking him. He leaves him. He runs out the box, and it's a great finish, I've got to say.
Was a very well taken from Schlupp. Hit it first time with the outside of his left boot, just flicking it past David De Gea.
I'm very surprised here that Man United haven't put somebody like Maguire on to protect this lead. No, they're giving the ball away. Palace now can, they're on the front foot now. They believe they can get something out of this game.
Certainly sets up an interesting finale for the 10 men of Manchester United as Anthony is released on that far side, the right. Wan-Bissaka goes on ahead of him. Wan-Bissaka sends over the cross. Guehi flicks it away with his head. Shaw heads it down. Garnacho, edge of the area. Garnacho trying to roll away from his man. Lifted away on the half volley by Klein. Fred plays the ball forward. And Crystal Palace certainly now have something to really take to Manchester United in these closing 13 minutes. The last we heard from Roddy, Rangers were in danger of dropping points. However, there's been another goal at Ibrox. Roddy.
And it's a goal for Rangers, and it's Borna Barisic, one of their free kick experts. He struck the ball into the box. It took a wicked deflection, but that was enough to carry it into the net. Rangers 2, Ross County 1, 15 to go.
Celtic are at St Johnstone tomorrow. Aberdeen 3, Motherwell 1. Motherwell have got a goal back. You're up to date with the goals as they go in. Manchester United are going to be making a change. Sabitzer, I think, is going to be coming on soon. He's getting some instructions from Ten Hag. Elise, meanwhile, delivers the cross. Mitchell arriving at the far post, lifts it up in the air, hasn't been dealt with. Hooked away at this near side by Martinez to Garnacho. Out of play, goes for a throw. United all of a sudden rocked by that sending off of Casemiro. Palace have hope.
Well, you see how Man United play. First half, after 30 minutes, they tired and they let Palace come a little bit into the game, but now they're feeling the pace. This is where Ten Hag's got to look at his substitutions. Bruno Fernandes and Fred are getting overrun in midfield.
Oxford United 0, Shrewsbury 1 is the latest score, and Hibs are leading at St Mirren by a goal to nil. Rashford over the halfway line, looking for the run of Garnacho. Riches will get there first. Garnacho actually dispossesses him and then goes to ground. Andre Marin assists, no free kick. Garnacho has stayed down, and then as the referee just run into another United player. They've got two players down at the minute, the home team. Andre Marin has got to stop play. He had to stop play there. Another goal at Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
Another one to Aston Villa, yet again to Leicester rather. Aston Villa caught napping, a quick break. Dennis Pratt on the substitute, beat Martinez to the loose ball and finished confidently. Villa 2, Leicester 4. Villa were 2-1 up.
Thank you, Pat. Patrick Vieira is apoplectic that Crystal Palace's break has been stopped, but the referee had run into the back of Bruno Fernandes, and he's saying it was a head injury. Reading, Watford, Katie Smith.
Inexplicably, Reading have equalised. Reading 2, Watford 2. A corner on the left-hand side. Jeff Hendrick lurking on the edge of the area, totally unmarked, and a thunderbolt firing into the right top-hand corner just moments after Watford had a goal disallowed. Reading 2, Watford 2.
Hearts have come from behind against the 10 men of Dundee United at Tynecastle. Hearts 2, Dundee United 1. and we're going to see Marcel Sabitzer coming on for his Manchester United debut. I've got to say, Manchester United's board 12 months ago were accused of being indecisive, the way that they pondered and didn't really act in the transfer market. They were extremely swift with that news of Christian Eriksen's ankle injury, and within a day had sanctioned that deal for Sabitzer. Cross comes in from the left-hand side, and Crystal Palace come very close to an equaliser. Runs across the face of goal. Elise now tries to work it back across. Blocked. Elise pulls it back. Doucouré sweeps it, far post, queuing up, headed away by Wan-Bissaka. Crystal Palace putting Manchester United under real pressure. And there's been another goal at Brentford. John Southall.
Game over, Brentford 3, Southampton 0. Again, too easy. Matthias Jensen with a header 6 yards out, just flicked it in. Not much of a challenge there against him. Brentford 3, Southampton 0.
Stockport 3, Tranmere 1 is the latest score in League 2. The rugby is coming up, England-Scotland here on BBC Radio 5 Live. 9 minutes remaining of normal time.
It's number 15, Marcel.
And it's Sabitzer who is coming on, and it's Anthony who has gone off. Actually, Anthony's gone off on the far side of the pitch. So Sabitzer is on for Anthony, his Manchester United debut with 9 minutes remaining. 22 appearances for Bayern and just the one goal so far for the Austrian international. He should be a good player.
Yeah, he's put in centre midfield, and he's set Fernandes play right-hand side of it 4, trying to get narrow.
Cleared by Martinez to Garnacho, forward to Rashford. Stepping forward out of defence was Richards. Crystal Palace trying to make the extra man count now after Casemiro's dismissal. This now is with the ball played forward to Eze, just outside the D, to Elise. Elise coming forward now. Elise tries to roll the ball, shows too much towards Shaw, and he marshals it out. And Varane now tries to whip up the crowd. They have their role to play here at Old Trafford.
Yes, they have. It's Palace look very, very, very threatening, don't they? Every time they come forward, they can smell that they've got a chance of getting a result here, which, 20 minutes ago you would have thought no chance.
So we've already seen Lokonga come on, one of the players that Crystal Palace brought in on transfer deadline day. The other one now is Nairu Ahamada, for a 20-year-old French youth international that they signed from Stuttgart. And Mateta, who's been waiting to come on, is now going to replace... not Edouard, was it? So Schlupp has gone off, and Doucouré was the other player who's gone off. So that's the double change being made. So Vieira now is really going for it, Chris Waddle.
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose, has he? Let's be honest. He's probably thinking how we got back into this game. How they got back in this game.
Straight to Millwall, a goal, Victoria Polly.
9 minutes to go. It's now Millwall 1, Sunderland 1. The ball came into the box and Long went to punch it away in the Millwall goal, but it was headed in. But the player that scored it, I still can't tell you who it is because they are down. Loads of medical staff on the pitch. He looks like he's taken a big old knock to the head, but it is Millwall 1, Sunderland 1.
Certainly it was good news for Ross Stewart, ruled out for the rest of the season with that Achilles injury picked up at Craven Cottage. Commentary of that replay will be on 5 Live on Wednesday night from the Stadium of Light. Bolton lead Cheltenham by 1-0. You're up to date with the goals as they go in here on BBC Radio 5 Live. But in the Premier League, Manchester United down to 10 men after Casemiro's dismissal, leading by 2-1, but Palace now have made so many attacking changes and are really taking the game to the home team here with 7 minutes remaining. Here is Fred, who dispossesses Eze, now tries to release Rashford, cut out though by Richards, out of play, it goes for a throw.
Tried to, Fred won the ball back, brilliant of Eze, and really he should have chipped it over the top. Rashford had the legs on Richards, but he plays it along the floor and he cuts it out.
Conscious that we've got the rugby coming up, England against Scotland here on 5 Live, so we'll try and give you the latest scores in all the divisions to give you a flavour of what's been going on as Shaw waits to take the throw, and it goes out for another Manchester United throw. Incidentally, Port Vale 0, Wycombe 2 is the latest score from Vale Park in League 1. Manchester United are going to be making a change. Harry Maguire is going to be coming on, and Lindelof. Defensive reinforcements as they look to try and secure a 13th straight win in all competitions. So latest scores in the Scottish Premiership: Aberdeen 3, Motherwell 1. Hearts have come from behind against the 10 men of Dundee United, 2-1 at Tynecastle. Livingston 3, Kilmarnock 1. Rangers 2, Ross County 1. St Mirren 0, Hibs 1. Lindelof just getting those final instructions from Erik ten Hag. Great football, isn't it? Because it looks so comfortable for United early on.
I cannot believe it. What a game football is, isn't it? Just shows you, doesn't it? A red card, Palace right back in. Look.
Chris is cut short because in his ears he heard the production feedback or the talk back that there's a goal at Hillsborough. Shojo Saka.
Sheffield Wednesday 2, Plymouth 0. Wednesday going top. It was substitute Malik Williams from the left, crossing, and George Byers finishing neatly. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Plymouth 0.
Looking for a penalty there from a challenge on Rashford. Referee Andre Mariner waves it away. Crystal Palace out towards Mitchell on that far side. We have got 5 minutes remaining of normal time.
Who do you think he'll take off here, Ian? Will he take Rashford and Fernandes off and put the 2 centre-halves on?
Yeah.
Just leave Rashford up front, take Fernandes off.
Well, Wan-Bissaka is going to go off for Lindelof, I can tell you. That's going to be one of the changes. Carlisle 0, Harrogate 1 is the latest score in League 2. Crewe 0, Grimsby 3, Fleetwood 1, Burton 2, Salford 2, Rochdale 1. Bottom of League 2, Rochdale have got a goal back, and Wickham have got a third now at Port Vale. Ball played forward. Mateta cuts it back, and it's cleared by Varane. Just outside the edge of the 6-yard box for Manchester United. That goal by, incidentally, has been ruled out for Sheffield Wednesday, so it remains Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0. Sheffield Wednesday would still be going top of the table. Free kick given away here. Elise, then there's a little push there by Shaw.
Yeah, well, is that a yellow card?
Here comes the double change. A free kick for Crystal Palace, and we have 4 minutes remaining. The rugby is underway. Chris Jones.
As is this new chapter of English rugby, Ian. England nil after Scotland nil after almost a minute as England attacks to the left through Marcus Smith, puts a little kick through. That's a clever kick from Smith. Finn Russell scrambling back.
Commentary coming up from the Calcutta Cup here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Garnacho, the substitute, is actually replaced by Maguire. Wan-Bissaka comes off for Lindelof. Stockport 3, Tranmere 2. We've still got all the divisions to rattle through. We've got this free kick for Crystal Palace as well on this right-hand side. The result in League 2 earlier was Newport 2, Swindon 1. Lacey scores, Bradford 1, Mansfield 0, Carlisle 0, Harrogate 1, Colchester 0, Barrow 1, Crewe 0, Grimsby 3, Doncaster Hartlepool is goalless. Elise to take the free kick, curls it left-footed towards the far post, pushed away by De Gea, fired back in on the volley, and the header from Mateta over the top, goal kick. Where was I? Gillingham 1, Crawley 0, Leyton Orient the leaders 1, Wimbledon 0, Northampton Walsall is 0-0, Salford 2, Rochdale 1, Stockport 3, Tranmere 2, Sutton in second place, Stevenage is goalless. 3 minutes remain. Lacey scores in League 1, Accrington 0, Lincoln 3, Bolton 1, Cheltenham 0, Bristol Rovers 0, MK Dons 1, Cambridge 1, Ipswich Town 1, Derby County 5, Morecambe 0, unbeaten in 15, Exeter 1, Charlton 2, Fleetwood 1, Burton 2, Forest Green 0, Peterborough 1, Oxford 0, Shrewsbury 1, Wickham leading at Port Vale 3-0, Portsmouth 1, Barnsley 0, Sheffield Wednesday going top. In that top of the table clash, still leading Plymouth Argyle by a goal to 0. Gurhey goes back, Championship and the Premier League to come. Let's get an update though from Brighton. Alistair Bruce Ball.
87th minute, Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0. Brighton as close as they've come moments ago to breaking the deadlock here. They got Mitoma in behind, tight angle on the left-hand side. Neto with a really important save at the near post. Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0.
2 minutes of normal time remaining. Rugby's coming up here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Elise plays the ball towards Clyde. Challenge comes in from Martinez, and Martinez then wins the throw, ushering the ball out safely. The 2 results of the Championship today were Norwich City 0, Burnley 3, Rotherham 0, Sheffield United 0. Burnley absolutely flying. 9 successive wins, 7 points clear. Before I give you the latest scores in the Championship, it's no longer goalless at the Amex. Alistair Bruce Ball.
And what was I saying about Karu Mitoma? 7 goals now in his last 11 appearances for Brighton. His fellow Ecuadorian Jeremy Sarmiento with a wonderful curling cross from the left. Mitoma leapt high, powered the header towards the top corner. Neto did brilliantly to try and keep it out, scrambling at his right-hand post, couldn't do so. Brighton 1, Bournemouth 0.
Latest scores then in the Championship: Huddersfield 1, QPR 1, Hull City lead Cardiff by a goal to 0, Luton 1, Stoke 0, Middlesbrough 3, Blackpool 0, Millwall 1, Sunderland 1, Preston 1, Bristol City 2, Reading 2, Watford 2, Swansea lead Birmingham by 3 goals to 2. Rashford tried to break on the left-hand side, out of play, it goes for a throw. We'll find out how much stoppage time we've got. Chris Waddle.
Yeah, well, Man United are dealing with it well. They've made good substitutions. They've got a back 5 along there, big tall back 5, so Palace just can't put that ball in the box. They're going to have to be clever if they want to get this equaliser. They've got to move the ball quicker and keep it on the floor.
Lokonga passes the ball out towards the left-hand side. Back it goes to the loanee from Arsenal. Now towards Elise. The 10 men of Manchester United, everybody back behind the ball. Climbed forward on this near side, the right. looking for the return ball from Edouard, forced a little bit further out wide, still manages to send over the cross, headed away by Sabitzer for Manchester United. Back inside it goes, Lokonga. Sabitzer wins the ball, tries to get it through to Rashford. Oh, the referee has given a free kick. I thought that was a fair challenge by Sabitzer.
I've got to say, the first challenge there was a little bit of a touch in it. I can see where he blew. The second challenge was a good challenge, so he should have blew on the first one. He wouldn't have got this reception. Well, the crowds reacted terrible to it, which you'd expect.
There's going to be 7 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. Let's get an update from Twickenham. Chris Jones.
Almost 5 minutes gone. England 0, Scotland 0. England with the better start, but Finn Russell made some space down the left-hand side, was cleared up well by Freddie Stewart. 0-0 after 5.
Eza in the penalty area from that free kick, cleared away by Fernandez, and then Fred can't keep the ball in play. It's a Palace throw, 10 yards up from the corner flag on this near side. We're into the 7 minutes of added on time. It's Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 1. But it hasn't been comfortable since that sending off of Casemiro. Klein with a throw on the right. The United supporters are trying to play their part. Palace putting pressure on the home team. Portsmouth have conceded an equaliser at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 1, Barnsley 1. Hartlepool have got a late goal at Doncaster. Doncaster 0, Hartlepool 1. Here now is Lokonga for Crystal Palace, all in white, playing from left to right. Elise comes in off the right touchline. United fans know all about Elise. He kills it in. Good header out by Varane, and then cleared away by Rashford. Rashford goes down. The referee will stop play and will give a free kick that leaves Vieira hopping mad down the touchline. Fleetwood are down to 10 minutes. They trail 2-1 to Burton Albion in League One. These are the latest scores in the Premier League. Everton earlier, what a start for Sean Dyche, beating Arsenal by 1-0, the league leaders. Latest scores: Aston Villa 2, Leicester City 4, Brentford 3, Southampton 0, Brighton 1, Bournemouth 0, United here 2-1 up, and Wolves 3, Liverpool 0. Rashford staying down.
It was not a foul. I can see Patrick Vieira's frustration. I can really see that. Palace are all over Man United in a minute without really creating chances, let's be honest. But 11 against 10, but I can see Vieira's frustration. That was not a free kick.
Earlier, Ireland beat Wales 34-10 in the opening game of the Six Nations. We're going to Twickenham, England, Scotland as soon as the football finishes. It'll be just about 5 minutes remaining, I would have thought, as Crystal Palace look for a dramatic equaliser here in stoppage time. Swansea 3, Birmingham 3. Birmingham have got a late equaliser, as the free kick will be taken by David De Gea in no real hurry, right-footed. Hits it long. Rashford drifts out towards the left. Richards heads the ball forward, comes out then towards Shaw, lets the ball bounce a few times, and then it rolls down the bank, and at the halfway line it goes out of play for a throw. And still Patrick Vieira complains in the direction of the referee Andre Mariner, and Manchester United just eating up valuable seconds.
Yeah, all experience now. Play it down the lane, get throw-ins, just run the clock down. I mean, it's a strange game, Ian, isn't it? What was it, half an hour ago? You would go Palace out of it, 2-0 down, finished. A sending off, game changer.
Yeah, Casemiro was the player dismissed. And ever since that point, Manchester United have really had to work hard in a game that they were very comfortable in when Rashford had made it 2-0. There he is, scrapping for the ball down by the corner flag, and he's done ever so well as Marcus Rashford. Real tenacity there as the challenge goes in. Full time at Brentford, John Southall.
Brentford 3, Southampton 0. Comfortable in the end for Brentford. 2 up at half-time. Southampton brought their record signing Suleimani on at half-time. Made a difference, but Matthias Jensen with the third finished it off. Brentford 3, Southampton 0.
We're halfway through the minimum of 7 minutes of added on time. Manchester United lead by 2-1. Rashford, sliding challenge from Richards. Fred throws himself into the challenge. They are really pumped up, the United players. Real spirit about them. Full time at Molineux, John Bennett.
Wolves 3, Liverpool 0. The damage done in the first 12 minutes. A Joel Matip own goal. Craig Dawson then firing in on his debut. Ruben Neves made it 3 second half. Wolves were superb. Wolves 3, Liverpool 0.
73,420 inside Old Trafford, and they're certainly making their presence felt now, trying to be that 12th man. The decisions at the minute going in favour of the home team, Chris.
Yeah, atmosphere has been absolutely brilliant. They are cheering the team on, and Man United are doing everything right.
Mansfield have got an equaliser at Valley Parade. Bradford City 1, Mansfield 1, Bristol Rovers 0, MK Dons 2. Let's go back to Twickenham. Chris Jones.
9 minutes gone, still England 0, Scotland 0. Interestingly, enterprising start from England. Owen Farrell throwing a wide ball, but England with a penalty at the breakdown, giving Finn Russell a chance to clear. 0-0, 9 minutes gone.
We'll be with you very, very soon. Chris and the team at Twickenham. Manchester United lead by 2-1. Full time at Aston Villa. Pat Murphy.
Villa 2-1 up in the first half. They end up losing 4-2. Not a game for defenders, but great to watch if you're a neutral. Villa 2, Leicester 4.
Cheers, Pat. Don't forget the reaction will be on the 5 Live Football Daily podcast as Crystal Palace, with about 2 minutes remaining of added on time, pass the ball out towards that left-hand side. Manchester United, the 9 outfield players, everybody back. Richards comes forward towards Elise, plays it short, then the move breaks down. Lokonga has to retrieve that pass himself. In fact, it's Hamada who passes it and gets it back himself. The United support trying to keep the home team, carry them over the line here in the closing stages with 90 seconds remaining. But Palace have the ball. This is Hamada, signing from Stuttgart, out towards Elise, such a talented player. He goes down off the ball and a free kick. No, the referee's played the advantage. Back out it goes to Elise. Right hand side, left footed cross, curls it in, out of play, goes for a goal kick.
Well, he's very much a talented footballer, Elise. He was a foul, a referee flag. Weighed the advantage and he's put a cross in there, which he doesn't need to hit as hard as he has. He just needs to put it in the danger area, and he's overhit it. Man United will run the clock down now.
Wolves have beaten Liverpool 3-0. Brentford have beaten Southampton 3-0. Aston Villa have been lost at home to Leicester City by 4-2. We knew that Everton had beaten Arsenal by 1-0, and the other full-time score is coming in now at the Amex. Alistair Bruce ball.
Brighton are up to 6th. Moment of magic in the 88th minute. You know who? Karu Mitoma, not with the mazy dribbling, but a leaping header into the top corner. Neto couldn't keep it out. Tough on Bournemouth. They gave everything this afternoon. Brighton 1, Bournemouth 0.
Still no points on the board as yet. England against Scotland will be there in less than 60 seconds, because that is how much time remains here at Old Trafford on 5 Live and the World Service. Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 1. Your quick thoughts, Chris Waddle?
I've got to say Man United being the better side. First half they were excellent. Palace lacking in confidence, didn't really make a contest of it, and then obviously the sending off, which was very, very poor decision by the referee, I've got to say, changed the game. But give Man United credit again, they've dug in with the backing of the fans. They've you would think they've saw this through now.
It'll be 13 wins in all competitions here at home, their best run since 2011 at Old Trafford. Palace maybe one last chance. They go long up towards Mateta, picked up by Eza, passes the ball out towards that left hand side. By my watch the 7 minutes are up. Now it's with a chance for Edouard, tries to shoot, edge of the area, blocked, comes back to Lokonga. A look at the watch from referee Andre Mariner. Forest Green 0, Peterborough 2 is the latest score. You're up to date, 5 Live in the World Service. Elise touches the ball down the line. Hamada, right hand side. Hamada down towards the byline, crosses it in, and Martinez on the stretch clears the ball out of play for a throw. Another look at the watch from referee Andre Mariner. The fans are begging for the final whistle here at Old Trafford. Elise waits to take the throw. 2-1 to Manchester United. Offside against Elise. That surely must be it. Free kick to Manchester United. Chris?
No, he's not going to blow yet. I think he'll blow after this kick, I've got to say. But Man United have done a professional job here after the sending off. Give Palace credit. Give Palace credit. They've had a go. They should have been more positive from the start. They would have made a better game of it. But Man United will see this through now, and another win.
Colchester 1, Barrow 1 is the latest score. Fleetwood 2, Burton 2. Fleetwood have got an injury time equaliser at home there in League One. We're in the 9th minute of added on time. Erik ten Hag having a word with the 4th official. Surely he must wonder how much longer can be played as Manchester United prepare to celebrate what would be a 13th straight win here at Old Trafford in all competitions. Yet to be scoreless, by the way, at Twickenham. Manchester United celebrate a 13th straight win. They've beaten Crystal Palace by 2-1 despite the sending off of Casemiro. As we now go straight to Twickenham, Coventry of England, Scotland, with Chris Jones and the team.